What's up, guys? Welcome to the Better Take episode number 22. This is your boy Russ, and today we have another special guest. We have literally the strongest motherfucker on the planet in regards to powerlifting. Like, this individual has literally put up the biggest total squat, bench, and deadlift, regardless of tested or untested powerlifting. We have Jesus Olivares. Clap.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Russ just kind of hyped me up,
Bro,
I feel like training.
Yeah,
just
bro.
Like my heart just got full real quick.
Yeah.
It's because normally when people talk about my stats, like I always have something to like say back, I don't like talking about myself.
kind of like downgraded a little bit.
Yeah, but the way you just said it, bro, I can't say anything.
At this point, I feel like there's no running from it. Like, maybe last year, but like, as you've put together, I mean, honestly, that last meet, it's like unprecedented. So it's like, there's no running from it. There's no running from that amount of greatness. It's like, literally, I've put up the greatest total in powerlifting history. I'm going to repeat it again. Regardless of tested or untested, like, I've literally put up the most numbers. Like, point blank, period.
It just makes my heart all fuzzy.
It was crazy because when you pulled up, too, we were talking about, we'll touch up on it like in a very respectful way, but like we were talking about something and like it was regards to powerlifting. You literally had goosebumps all over your body. Like, that's insane to me. It just shows how passionate you are, but that passion was reflected in the performance that you put up a couple of months ago.
Yeah, man. It's like anytime I talk about anything that I'm passionate about, like I just can't help it. It's like my body just gets ready to go, man.
Yeah.
And it's like I try to downplay it a lot, you know, because I don't really see powerlifting as like my whole life, you know. But on the other hand, it's not necessarily the sport that gets me emotional. It's what it means for me to compete and go out there and do what I do. It's like the work that I put into it, like that's what carries like the emotional significance.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, I feel like with that being said, there's also the backstory. Like, there's the story behind the work, right? So you're thinking about probably like everything that it took to get to this point. Like, when I think about you, I think about whenever you first started. Like, it's not like you're like a huge name in the game. You kind of built your way up to this point. I don't think people were looking at you as like an extremely talented person that may come up. It just happened because you kept putting the work over and over again. So maybe you're like also reminiscing about those times where like people weren't putting you in their top 5 or whatever, or like they weren't like kind of checking for you, and then it's like boom, another meet, builds up.
So it's funny you say that because on one of my edits that I made the other day, there's like a little 1-second clip that I added, but the full clip is like me talking to Pobs, like, these motherfuckers don't put me in the top 5. And I'm like, one, bro, nothing less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what Sheffield was. It was like an expression to show the world that I am exactly what I think I am.
Yeah.
And somebody commented this on my post because it's like someone was like, it's not Delulu if you can make it Trululu. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like,
I've never heard
it's
that.
not delusion.
Yeah, delusion if you can make it true.
If you can make it true.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just like, I don't know, man. I put a great deal of effort into what I do, but at the same time, I'm not ignorant. You know, I know that the circumstances play a big role into it too. Because I was actually talking to Dion about this in there, and I was telling him a little bit about my brother, my oldest brother. He's 36, 37, but he's actually probably the most talented out of all the boys. Like, this man was 6'4", 270, ran a 4.7 in high school. He squatted like 600 for 2.
Yeah.
When he was 16. I didn't do it till I was 18.
Yeah.
Just for some context. And it's like, he was gifted from a frame standpoint, from a athletic standpoint, and a strength standpoint. I'm just fortunate I'm strong.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I had a brain fart.
No, you're
That's
good.
where I
No,
was
it's
going with
crazy
that.
because but just even talking about that, it's like you're very family oriented. Like, I've met like a good amount of your brothers in the short time that I've known you. Like, Paps is always, he's not here with us today, but he's always around you. You always bring him around. I've met your baby brother, he's strong as shit, and I've met the brother you're talking about, I believe too. Your family is like big and strong as shit, man.
We're big, bro. I was thinking about this, but it was kind of like delayed because I went back home for my cousin's wedding, and I was thinking about this from a content standpoint. It's like I should have done a video where I got all of my guy cousins and did like a comparison.
Yeah.
Because people always talk about how big I am and stuff like that, but it's like the average height in my family is like 6 feet.
Yeah.
You know, which is I guess unheard of.
And you're like,
I'm about 6 foot.
6 foot.
6 foot and a quarter, like 6'1" with some shoes.
Yeah.
So it's like I got a cousin, he's 6'8", like
Jesus
450. My uncles, they're all like 6'2", 6'3". My oldest brother is 6'4". My youngest brother is like 6'2", 6'3".
Are you guys just straight up Mexican, or is there something else in y'all's blood?
We've actually had conversations about that. So
Yeah.
it's like at the premise, right? For a lot of you guys who don't know, like Mexicans are kind of like, no one take this like the wrong way, but it's like we're kind of like mutts. You know, it's like when you go back in history and you look at it, it's like we were originally natives, right? And then the Spanish came, they did their thing, they left, and then the people that were left, right? That's where Mexicans come from. That's literally what the word Mexican means. It's like mixture.
Oh shit, I know that.
So it's like, and then I think from my mom's side, somewhere along the line, like I think I heard my grandma say something about German or something like that.
German?
But I mean, for the most part, man, like both sets of grandparents from my mom's side and my dad's side, they're both from Mexico. So it's like, yeah, man, we're 100% puro pinche.
Puro pinche. Do you know exactly where you guys are from in Mexico?
So my father and his family, they're from Camargo in Chihuahua.
Okay.
And then my grandma is from Juarez.
Okay.
Right. That's as far as I know. But like my grandpa, he has a very strong native, like his mom was full native, so my grandpa was half. So it's like maybe that had a role to play in it, like because there are some tribes that are just larger framed, you know. Like I played with this one kid, I played ball with him my sophomore year, and he was Mexican, but his descent was it was mostly native. And this man was like 6'8", and he was like, "Oh yeah, bro, like my family on this side, like they're from this tribe, blah blah blah, and they're all like tall and stuff." Which is like, you don't really hear about that because when you think about like Hispanics and like indigenous people, it's like smaller.
Little
but
shorter,
it's like, we're out there, bro.
Yeah,
we're out there.
Yeah, you come from a lineage of like big ass motherfuckers, man. Yeah, but I just wanted to kind of get more into like your powerlifting journey. I kind of like know the gist of it, but from what I understood, you got into powerlifting through watching Joey Flex videos, or how did that come about?
Okay, so like from the very big, so I did powerlifting pretty much like junior high school, right? Texas, for a lot of you guys who don't know, like THSPA or something like that, it's like the largest powerlifting federation in the world. Like there are more kids in high school powerlifting in Texas than there are probably like active lifters competing internationally. Like it's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. You know, it's so crazy. My district didn't have powerlifting.
Really, bro?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I mean, we're all in Texas. Like, you are.
I'm from West Texas, Odessa.
West Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm over here in Houston, and like we didn't have powerlifting in our particular district, but I knew powerlifting existed in other districts. Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy,
man, bro. So yeah, man. So I've been exposed to it, but it's like I was more focused on playing football and track and field, right? Like that's what I went to go do in college was track and field and football. And my transition from collegiate athletics to like powerlifting it started off like basic gym bro stuff. You know, had a falling out with a girl I was involved with, broke my heart. Sheesh. Went to the gym. I know, man.
How'd she break your heart? Like
she picked another man, bro.
She what?
She went another way. But I mean, it was warranted. It was warranted.
Yeah.
At the time, I was a little D-head, and you know, I'll own up to it, bro.
Okay.
I'll own up to it. I did my fair share to make her look at other pastures.
I got you.
So we'll leave it at that, because I know my girl now. She's gonna check in on it. She's gonna be like, "What you saying?"
Yeah. I feel you.
So, anyways, broke my heart. I started going to the gym, right, as a form of like just an outlet, right? So, but I've always been competitive. I've always liked looking at what I can do and what other people can do. So at this time, I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of watching strongman, and I'm watching a little bit of powerlifting on YouTube. Like I was following Martins Licis and Eddie Hall on YouTube, and then at the same time, that's when I started watching like yours and Joey's videos, right? And
what time frame was this? Like what
this
year?
was 2019.
29. Shit,
I think
2019.
this was when you won Worlds in Sweden.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
2019?
Right? Am I right?
Damn. Well, yeah, you're right. But like, you haven't been powerlifting that long.
Nah, bro. It's been 4 years.
Really? Yeah, that just fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you was like, I mean, it makes sense, but I never really thought about it. I mean, yeah, you've only been powerlifting really for like, I mean, you were doing it in high school, but
yeah. So the highest level that I went to in high school. So in high school, for you guys who don't know, it's single ply, and it's like an equipment and stuff. And it's like some of you guys are gonna like recognize. So I went to Permian, right, which is like Friday Night Lights. It's a big football school. Like they do not give two damns about powerlifting.
Yeah.
So the singlets that we were using in the wraps, like these things were like loose.
yeah,
I wasn't getting no support from any of it, and it's like we didn't practice in the equipment. Like we had our off season for football, and then if we had a meet, we would just show up Saturday,
throw that bitch on.
Yeah, 3 a.m, get on a bus and just put it on. You know? So there was no familiarization with single ply. It was just, oh, you want to powerlift and compete? All right, sign up, let's go.
Lift and then throw that bitch on when it's time to compete.
Yeah, man. But honestly, man, like I didn't really mess with powerlifting that much when I started. I just really liked the opportunity to go and travel to like another city and compete. Like it was just it was an excuse for me to leave home. Yeah. So I go compete, right? So anyways, right, I was watching a lot of your YouTube, a lot of Joey's YouTube, and then I was kind of picking up on things and incorporating them myself for my training, right? And I was just kind of messing around with different philosophies, seeing what was working. But then I've always known that like there's always more to learn. There's always people around that you can kind of like group yourself with to propel yourself, right? Like peers that are on the same path type stuff. And when I was looking for a coach, right, this is when I was like, okay, I need someone to teach me the ropes, and I need someone who's been to Worlds, who's won at Worlds multiple times, who's taken athletes from like where I was to where I wanted to be. And Joey was literally the only person that I wanted to work with. Yeah. Like I had it made up in my mind that it was either Joey or I was just going to keep coaching myself. Yeah. Like there was no other alternative. So then at the time, I think I had coached myself to a 725 squat, a 475 bench, and a 765 deadlift. Right. So whenever I send Joey my numbers, like looking like now, like I work with Joey now and I work for him and I coach. So it's like now I kind of understand how like the whole inquiry process works. Yeah. So it's like he probably looked at my numbers and was like, I need this man.
He's like, we could do some damage.
Like, I can make some room, bro. Yeah. So I think I signed up with him in October of 2019, and then we did our first meet 8 weeks later. And my first meet, I almost totaled 2K, except I missed my last deadlift. So I ended up, I think, like 1980 something. Yeah. And then, like, ever since then, like, we literally would add over 100 pounds, like, every meet.
That's fucking crazy.
So first meet was, like, right under 2K. Yeah. Second meet was right under 1,000 kilos. Yeah. So it was like 2171. And then my third meet was like my first breakout meet where I think it kind of started getting people's attention, right? And I had totaled 23 something. It was 1,055.5 kilos. Yeah. I was the first American, I think, to pull 400 kilos on a stiff bar. You know, the number that so many people are trying to get. Yeah, I've been doing it for a few years, you know.
Talk your shit, man. Baby. But you know what I just realized, bro? Like, I don't know why I'm just really understanding this, but you've only been powerlifting for like, for real, like for 4 years. You know how scary, like, that's pretty scary because you've already accomplished something that no other lifter has accomplished. And it's like, you haven't even hit your peak. Like, when I really think about it, right? Because like in my 4th year of powerlifting, like the numbers that I was putting up are like nothing compared to what I'm doing now. So like if you just stay healthy, you keep progressing, like what you're gonna be etched in history. Like holy shit, I'm just putting it together in my head, man. Because the way I look at powerlifters, it's like I think like as a powerlifter, there's certain levels to your lifting. Like there's like when you first break in, you're kind of figuring shit out, and then like you hit like a progress state, which I think is what you're currently at. Like you're hitting a progress state, and then now like that you've peaked, or not even that you've peaked, but you're reaching your peak. I feel like in the next like 2 years, you're gonna demolish all the numbers that you've been doing now. So like that standard is gonna be completely different. And it's weird because for the past year, I've personally had you as the best powerlifter in the game. Prior to this most recent competition, I've always said that like I feel like the big dogs need to be represented more and like get more respect. And it's like the way that it works in football weight rooms, it's like, no, the strongest motherfucker, regardless of weight, regardless of position, is the baddest man in the weight room. So I feel as though like now that you're getting your props, but I'm understanding more and more. I'm like, nah, this motherfucker still has time to grow, still has time to build. Do you ever think about that, or do you just...
Every now and then,
Yeah.
I try not to, because obviously, like, you know, you're an athlete too, so it's like when we're in prep, when we're in the moment, we don't really look at it from like an outside perspective.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are times where I'm just like, and I've talked to a few people about this, and it's like it almost was like an imposter syndrome.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like,
are you good?
yeah,
Should be straight. I think like the mic fell a little bit. Yeah.
so, oh, you can just pause a little bit.
I think it just needs to be tight. We're good. But
Little bit of editing going on.
nah, we're good. We can just keep it in.
Yeah.
Free
So it gave me a bit of imposter syndrome, because it's like, how the hell am I going to be stronger than dudes on steroids as a natural?
Yeah.
Like, I'm stronger than the strongest untested guy to ever that needed dialysis because of his usage.
Jesus Christ.
As a natural.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes it just like, I have a hard time believing it, but at the same time, like, if you stop too long to smell the roses, man, like that's when somebody else is gonna come up and pass you from the back.
Yeah.
So I think I do a really good job of taking my time when I need to, and then like just putting the horse blinders back on, and just chugging along. So it's like, I don't know, man, it's really interesting when you put like that, because it's like, it's like how people ask me at the gym every day, you going heavy today?
Yeah.
The objective answer is yes, because it's relative, right? Every single thing I do is relatively heavy.
Yeah.
But like subjectively, I'm like very nonchalant about it. I'm like, I mean, I've done this weight like hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And it might be somebody else's lifetime PR, you know, and not in a bad way, bro.
Yeah, not even though, like not you, because you're doing weight that shit. What's the off squat for you look like?
Like D-Lo, like 716, 700.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm just like, but that's 300 pounds less than my max.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
like, if I'm like really trying to take back some fatigue, I'll just do 700.
Yeah. So what's interesting to me too that you said is that whenever you're looking for a coach, you wanted to find someone that's been there and done that.
Yeah.
Because that's the same mindset that I had when I knew it was time to make a transition from my previous coach to Joey.
Yeah.
I wanted someone that had already been there. Like I wanted someone that had shown his
pedigree.
Yeah, his pedigree on like the actual platform and like on the world stage. So why? I mean, like I want you to get more into that. When you researched Joey, what made you decide? Yeah, I want to go with Flex.
It was my desire to. So when people ask me like my background and my origin story and stuff like that, it's like, it's almost like I'm just a leaf in the wind, bro. Whatever I do, wherever I go, I'm led there, right? And it was almost like a spiritual thing. You know, I'll even say like I believe God led me to Joey because it was just like this profound desire to win.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to win titles. You know, it really, honestly, man, when I first started, it really wasn't even about hitting records, like specific numbers. It was all about catching Ray and winning titles. That was it. It wasn't, like my lifetime goal is X amount. No.
Yeah.
It was just, what do I have to do to get to where I want to be?
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people, they chase numbers and they chase like records and stuff like that. But ultimately, man, like to me, it's like I care about championship titles.
Yeah.
You know, I care about how consistent am I being? Like, what are my performances look like? Like, what is training like leading up to a certain point? It's like I could care less if I hit an all-time PR. Like, I don't care. Like, is it gonna help me win?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I feel was like the perfect matchup with Joey, because he thinks the same way. It's like, to Joey, it's like, what do we need to do to put ourselves in the best position to win?
Yeah.
It's not, hey, bro, like, we can go for a PR on this.
Yeah,
No, like, hey, if we go 5 kilos, like, this is going to secure the win. It's not, like, let's jump 10, risk to miss, and then, like, now you're out of contention. So I don't know, man. It's just, like, that's what led me to Joey. It was, like, that feeling and just, like, the belief in, like, this man could take me to win world titles. This guy could take me. But it's, like, obviously, like, now, like, Joey was my first powerlifting coach, and, like we're still going strong. So it's like what kept us together, man. And I just think I'm someone who doesn't really like to stick around fishy people. I'm very, like, observant of who I communicate with daily, like, stuff like that. So it's like the relationship that, you know, we all have with Joey, like, individually or as a team. It's like, this man really puts out for us, bro.
Yeah.
He puts his neck out there for us. He'd do it without thinking twice.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what you want from a coach. You want someone who's going to double down and be there for you when it's hot.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, that's literally one of the few things that I can say about Joey as an individual and as a coach.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, we shared the same mindset when it came to picking out Joey. Like, for me, for those of you guys listening, Joey is my coach, Joey Flex. I've had him on the podcast before. So me and Jesus are teammates. Whenever I knew it was transition, I was like, I want someone that speaks my language as well. I feel like there's a lot of coaches out there that, like, they know the X's and O's and programming in general. But for me, it's about getting behind someone that could get me motivated. Because there's coaches out there that I was like thinking about, but I knew, I'm like, this guy, like, it's not that, I mean, in a hard way, it sucks to say this, but it's like, I don't respect this person. I don't fear this person. Like, for Joey, I'm like, I don't want to let Joey down. Like, this guy's been here and he's seen, like, what winning looks like. I literally don't want to be anything but that. Yeah. So, like, with my efforts and, like, making sure I'm on program, like, I wanted to send him work. Like, I remember when we first started, I was like, am I doing this correctly? Like, am I like, is this what your world champions do? Like, am I hitting the right numbers? Am I doing it the right way? Yeah. And I was obsessed with that because he had been there. With other coaches, you just don't want to get with someone that is going to, like, not hold you accountable in a sense. Like, it's a weird feeling. Like, there's some coaches that I've seen and I know, like, man, if I needed to be, I guess, reprimanded or, like, talked to, I don't feel confident that this coach would be able to do that. So whenever I was with Joey, I'm like, this man has been there before anyways. I felt that respect and almost that fear factor of, like, I don't want to let him down. And I also want to kind of, like, further his legacy of, like, no, he's that winning pedigree. So whenever he talked about that, I was like, yeah, that's the same exact way I felt. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad too, but he doesn't give a fuck about dots or, like, hitting PRs in a sense. Like, obviously that's what you do en route to becoming great, but that's not the main focus. The main focus is, like, yo, let's win. Let's win your weight class. What are your goals? Let's hit those goals and let's keep it pushing. So it's really interesting to hear you talk about that. So you got Joey 20, so fucking crazy. 2019, right? Mm-hmm. And then when did you win your first open title for nationals?
It was so COVID happened in 2020 and they canceled nationals. I remembered because I think we were all going to do a meet in Zoo that Tina was planning, and then it got canceled. Yeah. And that was supposed to be, like, our qualifying meet. But then COVID happened, everything was canceled, everything was closed. But fortunately, we were in Texas, right? We were in the Yeehaw state, baby. So
Texas is not closed for shit.
Well, I mean, I think it was like 2 months where we followed rules, regulations.
Low key, yeah.
Right.
Not
and
really.
Then I remember because I wanted to compete at nationals. Yeah. Right. So I kept refreshing the site, and, like, there was a meet that was going up and I went to sign up, but then they would get taken down. So then 2 weeks out, this meet in Austin pops up. I signed up immediately. And that was the meet that I hit 2171 at. So that was to get my primetime slot, right? So I could go at nationals. And then literally, I remember I competed Saturday. It was Pablo was there and my cousin was there. We ate pizza for dinner. We celebrated. We played Call of Duty. We took our consoles to the hotel room.
That's lit.
And then I remember waking up the next Sunday morning, turn over, grab my phone. The first post I see is nationals canceled.
Shit.
Yeah. So this is in 2020, right? So I'm like, looking back now, I'm 100% certain I would have won.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would have. It might have been closer then than it was like following suit.
Yeah.
So I still think I would have won, especially because I think nationals was supposed to be in September, and then I ended up totaling 2,300 plus in December. So I feel like it still would have been like high 22s, maybe still low 23.
Yeah.
And at this time, Ray was hurt, and like everybody else, they wouldn't have even touched it.
Yeah. So
my first nationals was in 2021. This was Daytona. I think I was 22, maybe 22. And that was my first open national. And it's like, people always ask me like, well, what do you think about juniors and stuff like that? I'm like, I mean,
about what?
About like junior championships.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nah.
And I'm like, I mean, why would I go for a junior championship when I can win the open?
Yeah. So. Do you think, because I have a take on, my takes usually get me killed, but fuck it. When I was a junior, I didn't give a fuck about juniors.
Yeah.
Like I didn't give a fuck about competing as a junior, me personally. It's only as of late that I've realized that a lot of people care about juniors.
Yeah, it's a movement, bro.
Yeah,
like there are dudes that are like, and yo, my athletes, guys, I still love you guys and I'm still going to push y'all to be the best. But it's like I have guys who are like 21, 22, 23, and they're still like hanging on to the idea of winning a junior championship.
Hell no, man. So I started powerlifting when I was like 21 or 22 or whatever. And my coach would always tell me, hey, like, add junior. I'm like, why you keep telling me add junior? I don't give a fuck about no junior. Like, what are they doing in like the open? Like, I want to be the best open. I don't care about junior. And he would keep telling me to add it because it allows me to have like junior records or whatever. And I was like, I mean, I'm doing this for you, coach. Like, I think it was more so of a thing like he just wanted it on his resume. This is not Joey, by the way. Yeah. But it was like some other coach. I was like, I guess you just want it on your resume to say that like you have like a junior hit world records or whatever, or national records. But for me, I just care about open. And I feel like, I mean, if I was a junior, I would focus more on like where am I placing in open and then like maybe add juniors to supplement that. But I'm curious. I feel like, do the top juniors, like, do they translate well to the open anyways?
Normally, the guys who do well in the open are, like, let's take JJ Falk, for example.
Okay.
He's one of, I forgot where, he was living in Texas for a little bit. I got to chop it up with him. This guy's, I think he's like the next Ash, bro. Like, really? This guy is, like, freaky.
Yeah, I think I've seen him before.
He competed, I don't think he was in prime time. You know, actually, I ain't going to speak about nationals. I didn't really tune into much of it, so I don't know like who was in what slot or whatever, but I know he won 90 open as a junior. Like this guy just modeled.
Really?
Yeah, man.
What?
This guy pulls almost 800 pounds. I think he benches like mid fours, and I think he squats like mid sevens, right? And I think he's like 19. So it's like he won 90 as in the open.
Really? When?
Wait a minute.
No. Because I think
or did Petrie win 90?
Huh?
Did Petrie win 90?
Yeah, Petrie won 92 years in a row. I think maybe he got or 100. My bad. Yeah,
100.
Okay.
Because there was he won 100. My bad. I got my weight classes confused. So he won 100 in the open as a junior.
Yeah, you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but he's like good frame.
Yeah.
He's actually like very modest. He looks like a good kid, man. And I hope like when I see kids like that, or excuse me, young men. When I see young men like that, what I'm looking for is like, okay, like how committed are you for the long haul? Yeah. Like, are you just like in a season where you're like kind of just doing whatever, or like do you actually want to be great long term? Yeah. So it's like
you can almost like you could see who's up next, like you like just the way they walk, their demeanor, like how their work ethic is. Because there's certain kids that like they're talented, but everything else be fucked up. Yeah, like it's like okay, like you're strong, like you have raw strength,
Yeah.
But I'll be seeing how you move with your nutrition, like, and I'll be seeing how you move inside of the gym. Like, you just happen to be strong. Whereas, like, some people, like, you have the whole package, you just need more time.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, shit,
bro. Like, you don't get to win consistently over a period of time, and like get banged up and come back from that and come back again, if you don't have like the intangible side of things locked down.
Yeah.
Like, you can be a one and done.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like
I see that shit all the time, bro.
Yeah, like you can win nationals once, like on a whim, just raw talent.
Yeah.
But everything else outside of the gym isn't on par. And usually those kind of people, like, they just get full of themselves. They don't take care of like any little thing. So once they hit a wall or they start bumping into stuff, like, they have a very difficult time like coming back because they don't have the discipline to navigate like the murky waters of like an injury or a plateau, because the discipline that you need to get through those seasons, you need it for like recovery, nutrition. And it's like you see so many of us like talk about this, but there's a reason that it's almost cliche. There's a reason why it's so repetitive, because it's like, if you aren't on top of these things, your long-term success is going to be very questionable.
Yeah. And like, for as long as I've been powerlifting for the past like 2023, 20, it's like 8 years. So like, I've seen so many people come and go, bro. Like, maybe win like a title on a whim, because like you said, like, some shit just kind of works out for you to win a title. Maybe like for example, the Fed split, like a lot of people are winning that, like, in due time will show, like, not it was a fluke, but like, you need to keep up with the work ethic.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they may have one of the two. Like, oftentimes what it really is like they're talented, but then like, let's say for example we have lifter A, right? Lifter A is extremely talented, but doesn't take care of like the three pillars, or the other two pillars of lifting, right? Which is like recovery and nutrition. Lifter B, he's somewhat talented, but he takes care of all three consistently. Over time, you're gonna start seeing like lifter A is gonna stagnate and lifter B is gonna keep climbing. Actually, there's 4 pillars when I think about it, because the training, it's like you have rest, recovery. Nah, training. Never mind. 3 pillars. I'm bugging.
We keep it at 3.
Yeah. So 3 pillars, right? So it's just I think that people underestimate the other 2 pillars often, and like, I find oftentimes too, it's like, if you don't take care of those other 2 pillars, bro, like, you'll fall off really quick, and I've seen it happen so many different times.
Yeah.
So like, there's something I wanted to touch base with you, because I think is super important. I want to actually talk about that monumental performance. I'm sure you've talked about it a lot, but I want to talk about the prep leading up to it. There was one video I saw you post. I think it was a squat, and you went ballistic. Like, you went crazy. I literally said, this is one of those ones. Like, he's about to have a super meet. I literally said that. I was like, the way I could just tell by your energy, he's about to have a super meet. Can you talk to me about like how you come in mentally for training sessions?
Yeah, man. So what I've been doing is like, the very first thing I do is go train. Because when I'm in the zone, bro, when I'm like operating and I'm bobbing and weaving, I wake up with this anxiety of, I gotta go train. I gotta go train. So it's like my prep into Sheffield. So it's like, at this time, like, I think my mom's been sick since my first national championship. So my mom's health has always just been one of those things that's like looming over my head. Going all the way back since my very first nationals, because I remember I almost pulled out because she was hospitalized and I didn't know if she was going to make it. I didn't know if she was going to pass away while I was on the plane to Daytona. And I just remember like something that my mom's always taught me. My parents have been divorced for 13 years now, give or take. And my mom told me one day, she was like, moving forward, everything that I'm going to do for you boys is, I need y'all to be okay for the day I'm not here. And something that she always taught us was, whatever you start, finish it. Finish what you start.
Yeah.
And I remember having this conversation with myself and my girlfriend, and I was like, should I pull out? And the very first thing that I heard in my head was, finish it. And it's like everything in my body was just like, I have to finish this. And it's like, so that's kind of the energy that I move with in the gym. It's like this responsibility.
Yeah.
Like I have an obligation, right? Like for me, when I'm in the gym, it's like I'm not in there to draw attention. I'm not in there for nothing. It's like I started this and I have to finish it. And the energy that I was going with into Sheffield was I knew my mom was going to go. And it's like, I mean, it's looking like she might get to go to Sheffield again for next year, but it's like in my mind at that time, I didn't know if she was going to have another international trip in her. And I was just like, the only thing that I thought in my head was, there ain't no fucking way I'm losing with my mom in this stance. Yeah. And I know like everybody's got their, and I think you guys might have talked about it, but that's where I got this, this line came out and it's like, it's pretty much, I can't paraphrase it word for word, but it's like everybody else has dreams and aspirations, but it's just like, who the hell wants it more? And I just know that like, I was going to do everything I possibly could to make sure that like I made my mom proud. Yeah. And like I walked out with my head high. So like I was already walking with that into training. Yeah. Like just the idea of having my mom in the crowd was like more than enough like motivation that I needed to just go in there and just, you know, be on fire. Yeah. But then like, you know, stuff happened like 3 weeks out.
We can talk about it. It's fine. Not talk about it in detail, but we can bring it up. Yeah.
So anyways, like there was a particular video that was like a direct attack towards our coach. Yeah. And our team, right? Yeah. Right. Like, I don't care. Like people can say it was just towards our coach. Like no, like when you attack any one of us in that sense, the entire organization is gonna feel a type of way about it. Like that's just a given. It should be expected. And it just kind of like turned it up another level, man. Yeah. Because I felt, and honestly, like, I don't know, man. I was like on some ego stuff because at the same time I was watching Blue Lock and a bunch of the philosophies that they talk about in Blue Lock, I was also like kind of imbuing into myself, right? So it just like, I already had like the pressure of wanting to win for my mom. And then now I had the pressure of putting out for my team. Yeah. Like, nah, bro, there's no way I was gonna lose, bro. Yeah. Like I was just, I don't know, man. And it's kind of crazy to say because, like, don't get me wrong, like I'm still walking with that same energy, but it's not like out of 10 yet. I was at a 10 like those last 3 weeks. Like I was going in angry, bro. Like I got clips on my phone where like, you know, when you put your phone to record and like you get ready and then if you just got some stuff to say after, like it's like 5 minutes. I got videos on my phone, bro. I'm just going in, bro. Cause I was just like, it was almost like if I was possessed, bro. Yeah. And it was just like, it's really hard to put into words because where my mind was at mentally, bro. And it's like, honestly, it gets me so excited just thinking about it. Cause it's like, it makes me feel good that I can have that kind of pressure and like still operate at such a high level. Yeah. Because so many people would just crumble, bro. They'd crumble under that much pressure. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, man, but I'm ready to do it again, man, because I took like a pretty good mental break after Sheffield. Like I pretty much half-assed Worlds. Yeah. You know, just squatted 1,000 for the crowd.
Yo, his version of half-assing is 1,000 pounds on squat to chill. Let me give you this quick 1,000 and like I'm out. Like,
all right, guys. Yeah, make those videos. So it's like you know, secured third championship, but it's like my mind wasn't in doing my best performance. I was just like, I was burnt out, bro. Yeah. And like I did like a little interview with SBD after, and I told like the guys, I was like, guys, like you guys are picking to do an interview at the wrong time. Like I ain't gonna have no bites for y'all because I'm dead. I want to go home. I want to go eat. Like I need a break from this stuff. Yeah.
But like I wanna like unpack the training aspect, right? You said so many different things that like I just want to like pick apart because you know me, I'm like a big training guy, bro. Like I'm super big on being intentional inside of the gym. Like there's a purpose whenever you walk inside the doors, right? For me, when I step inside that gym, it's not like it's no playing around. Like I'm here for a goal, right? So whenever I hear you talk about that, I think a lot of lifters are missing that. Like they have this goal of like, I want to be a good lifter, but they come in and they do the exact opposite. Like they fuck around with their friends. They maybe talk too much. And I'm literally watching them train. And I'm like, bro, you're literally, I can see you sandbagging. You're not even like putting an effort. And then when they compete, they're kind of wondering what happened. And like, maybe they don't perform, they win and perform. And I'm just like, that's what kind of happens when you don't come in with some type of purpose or intention.
I was literally telling Sean this when I was talking to him. And I was just telling him, like, to be the best version of you can possibly be, like that version of you that can break through walls. Yeah. Your mind, body, spirit, and soul all have to be in conjunction with one another. Like you have to like be at peace, and you have to like know who you are and what you want to do and what direction you want to go. And then because it's like, you know how life is, bro. It's a drag. It's long. You know, there are moments where your mind's this way, your body's that way, your heart's not where it needs to be, and I feel like that's where a lot of people are. But it's like if you can get to that mental state where all 5 of these things are pulling in the same direction, that's when you get to see the absolute best that you can do. So it's like when I love that you talked about intentionality, because everything that I do, bro, is set to where it all pulls in the same direction. Like from what I eat to what I watch, to what I listen to who I talk to what I think about, to like what I talk about. Every single thing I do is pulled in the same direction. Like there's very little about me that has anything to do with pulling away from my goals. And it's just like I've always thought this, man. I felt like when I first started, I always, and I still believe this now, but obviously it's going to be a little bit harder for other people to understand because of where I'm at, like my level. But when I first started, and I think I picked this up from football, was I'm not the biggest, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the most gifted, but what I freaking have, it's what's in here. And I always knew, and I know, and I believe that what sets me apart from a lot of people is it's like my mentality. Like the way that my brain works in this aspect, it's like it just, everything kind of just goes in that direction. Like there, like anything else, bro. Like, and I was like this before I met my girl. When I was getting serious about powerlifting, bro, like if I was talking to a girl and I thought they were going to take away from my goals, or if I didn't think they were going to understand, I'd just get the hell away from me.
But even just speaking on that, bro, it's like, do you feel as though like, how do I want to put this? So like when I get inside of the gym, right, I don't talk to anyone. Like for the most part, like if I'm locked in, that means I'm locked in, right? If I'm talking to you and I'm like being whatever, that means I probably have like an off day or whatever, or like the session just doesn't really call for like the utmost like seriousness, right? Maybe it's like a deload. Do you feel almost like, do you feel like since like you've been training, right? Do you feel like you've been called to a higher purpose? And in some like respect, it's like your goal is so clear in your head that nothing is going to interrupt that?
I feel like that sometimes. I feel like that sometimes.
And that's been present not since like you just started winning. That's been present since you started lifting in general, right? Okay,
I mean, but I feel like that's only become apparent like maybe once I realized that I was kind of doing crazy stuff. Because like before, it was more so for like myself and my family. You know, it really wasn't so much like thinking of a bigger vision. But it's like, it was kind of the answer that I came to when I started realizing that what I'm doing, it's like people got to hop on juice to even sniff. You know? And I just turned 25 like 3-4 months ago.
Jesus, man, you're hitting your fucking like you're man. It's just so crazy. I don't know. I don't know why it just hitting me now, bro. 25.
Bro, when you're saying it, it's hit me, bro.
No, I'm saying that, like, when I really think about it, I'm thinking about when I was 25 and like I was just still like, your body's still like kind of physically maturing a little bit. So it's like once you hit that like 27, 28-ish point, man, fuck, bro.
I'm looking forward to it, bro.
Yeah.
But anyways, because there are times, bro, where I'm looking at a weight and I don't feel the best. And what carries me through is like the belief of God put me here for a purpose and he gave me these gifts. Like, and then plus, like, I did get my genes tested, and like apparently like there's a specific marker for like tissue resilience. So like according to science, like my body's pretty resilient to enduring that kind of duress. And then secondly, I got Jesus on my back. So it's like there's no way for me to not go out there and do what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah. So also, I mean, I just still talking about the training aspect of it. You train, I mean, you used to train pretty exclusively at TSS, right? There's a couple of groups in powerlifting that I really respect their work ethic, because you can just see it in the video that they have that just like animalistic type of approach to their training. I would say that there's a group out in France. I mean, I think you know, with Penna and Laya and some of those, and
yeah, they're like a little clique.
Yeah, the whole little clique. They fucking train hard. I don't like. They got like a little sector of training where I'm just like, fuck. It looks like those sessions are lit. Then you have the boys over at TSS, which is like you, your brother, Mikey, not Mikey, Ashton.
Yeah,
like,
Ashton just moved back.
Yeah, Ashton just moved back. So like when I look at y'all's training sessions, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, what are those conversations like? Like, do you guys decide to pull up all together? And then whenever you guys are in the gym, like, how are you guys motivating each other to kind of get after it?
Yeah, man. So when we train together, we haven't trained together in a while, just because Ash, like his obligations to the army and stuff. Like I think he started doing, like, I think this is his last year of school. So I think his classes started. He's got like a busy schedule. Me and Pablo, like, we move gyms and stuff. But it's like we're all in agreement that when we're back in prep, like, we kind of like come together. So it's like now, like, we're all kind of like spread out doing our own thing. But it's like, nah, man, when we train together, bro, I don't know, man, this is kind of hard, and it might not be like a popular answer, but it's like, in my mind, man, like, I don't know, I don't really like get much motivation from training. Like, well, right now, maybe then, but right now where I'm at mentally, I don't really get much encouragement or like inspiration from other people's training. Yeah. Cause it's like, I'm so locked in on myself that it's like either you're going with me or you're in my way. Yeah. Yeah. Like, and I think I kind of started getting to this point like towards the end of Sheffield prep, because I think like my second to last or last deadlift, like, I got angry. I mean, I'm not like a very outward person, but it pissed me off that everybody else was just talking. Yeah. And I just literally, I don't even think I said hi to any. I think I dabbed everybody. Yeah. And then like I just like side parted to grab the bar. I put my headphones in. I drank my pre, and I was just like, I was ready to go. And I don't know, man. It's just, I just think that I'm at that point where the only person who could really motivate me is myself. Yeah. And I enjoy training with other people because I like their company and they're my friends, and I care about them from a outside the gym perspective. Yeah. Like, my gym friends are my outside the gym friends. You know, I don't really have like much of like a private life, you know. I mean, I have like my relationship and my family, and that's it. And then the people that I go, you know, maybe go drink a few beers with every now and then, it's gonna be like Mikey or Clay or Pobs or, you know, whomever, or Ash, you know. So it's like, I don't really train with them because they get me going. I train with them just because I like their company. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because it's like, I mean, maybe there was this one time where I think Ash like squatted maybe like 800 for 2 or something. Jeez. And then I think I jumped from 700 to 1,000 just because I kind of wanted to, you know, kind of like put it in there. It's like, yo, I'm still here too. So, but I mean, like, besides that, bro, like, I really don't have any desire to like have that sort of thing. It's just because like the season that I'm in my life right now, it's like I just don't really have time for a lot of people who are going to be distractions. Or are just gonna like do their own thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, realistically, it's like cool. We're training together. You're spotting me, and like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because I'm somewhat of the same. Like for me, I don't care about other people's training.
Yeah.
It sounds fucked up to say, but I just don't. Like I'm so focused and entrenched in my training that like for me it takes a lot. You have to be someone that like you have to be like a friend for real.
Yeah.
For me to like turn and look at your training. Because like when I come inside the gym, there's a certain type of level of locked in that I'm in. Like I literally don't care what anyone else is doing. I'm just lifting, and like if you're lifting with me, cool. But like I'm so focused on my shit. It's like don't come to me. Hey, do you think this is an RP7 or whatever? I'm like, bro, I don't like in a not in a disrespectful way, but I just don't care because I'm so locked into what I got going on. So it's interesting to hear you say that. I feel as though oftentimes because I was going to ask you how many lifters do you think actually train locked in though? Like with that you
actually,
see?
That's a good question, bro. Well, I can say for sure, like the guy like Mikey Pops, Ash, you know, these guys are where they are.
And I've seen them
because they're locked in.
Yeah, they're locked in. I've seen
but
them.
Like when you look at the bigger picture, like honestly, bro, I don't think people train as hard as they should.
Yeah.
I think they go way too light.
Yeah.
So you have three kinds of people, right? You got like the people who don't know when to slow down. You got the people who figured it out, right? They know that silver lining, like the perfect balance between going hard and chilling when you need to. And then I think these two spaces occupy like maybe 20%.
Yeah.
Right? 20%. You got your ego lifters who go way too hard. That's like 10. And then you got 10% of people who are like the perfect balance between ego and chill. Yeah. And then there's like an 80%, bro, of the population who are just...
They're just kind of there.
They're just kind of there, bro. Like to them, training is just... It's like they're hanging out at the club.
Yeah.
You know, they're just there to waste time. I mean, not waste time, but they're just there to casually lift.
Yeah, and it's not that there's anything wrong with it. For me, it's more so just like understand like who's lifting for what, and then like place yourself accordingly, right? Yeah. So like there's some people that go to the gym and like they literally only powerlift for the community aspect of it. Yeah, they don't care about progression. They don't care about like getting better, literally, and that's fine. But like I'm not going to like align, not not fuck with them, but it's like when I'm in the gym, it's all about like what I have to get going or what I have to do. Yeah. And then like people that have the same goals as me, I mean, like you could be around me, but for the most part, I kind of isolate myself because I identify people's like what people's goals are. And if it doesn't align with what mine is at, then like you said, it only takes away. So if I'm training with someone that doesn't really give a fuck, I'm gonna start not giving a fuck. That's the way I look at it. It's gonna bleed into what I got going on. So it's like I'm of the same mindset of you. I actually think it's like 95% of like lifters like just be chilling to be low.
Hey, like bro, just 80, 95.
Yeah, 80 to like 95% just be chilling and lifting just to lift. You know, with like no like straight line goal. But I want to get back to like your epic prep because like I remember I DM'd you. I think I DM'd you some shit like, yo, they spoke on the team. You got to handle business, bro. Like you're like literally the next one.
Same way, bro.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like. I think I sent you like a long ass voice message.
I feel like you were the only person who felt how I did.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it's dead now, but I was on some like, fuck these motherfuckers. Like, just for motivational, competitive purposes. Yeah. I was like, fuck these motherfuckers. Like, you got to put this shit on your fucking back. Like, I need you to go crazy. Like, I need you to have like a monumental ass meet. Like, those are the type of messages I was sending to you. I was like, bro, like, you're literally next up and you're going to put the team on your back and like, I'm going to try to follow through if I can, but you need to be the first up to do it. So did you, I mean, you talked about feeling that pressure, but do you feel like you need that pressure now? Like, let's say like you compete again. Do you feel like you're going to need some type of pressure to kind of like focus to get to that level? Or do you think you could get that with your own intrinsic motivation?
I think, well, I'm not gonna say I hold on to grudges, bro. But it's like I agree. I think it's dead. But for me now, it's still a little personal.
Yeah, I feel you.
Not in terms of like negative emotions, but now it's like, you know, people want to call it a rivalry.
Yeah.
So in my mind,
we'll talk on that too.
Yeah, in my mind, I want to feel like Flex still has the best lifters, and from my perspective, right. I'm going to do every single thing I can to keep it like that. Like, as long as I'm around, Nah, bro, it's flex, bro. It
Yeah.
ain't gonna be nothing else. And I think everybody else feels like that. And I think it can be used as a good thing because I think this is what's missing in powerlifting.
For sure.
You know,
Like,
it's like
it's weird. I feel like this is the first time that we've had a team versus a team type of concept. It's like it's like American teams jockeying for like quote unquote the number one team or the best team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, forgive me if I'm mistaken, but like I don't think there's ever been like a team to team type of like rivalry in powerlifting. This could be the first time
because we were talking about this. Like, you know, like you're like we're still cool with the athletes.
Yeah,
You know, like we chop it up. I literally DM'd PG the other day and I was like, hey bro, I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
So it's like, but aside from that, you know, it's like I think we need our Cowboy fans and we need our Patriot fans and we need our Niner fans.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I think it adds an extra element to it, you know, and I think you just gotta be professional about it.
For
you
sure.
know? But
so let's be professional. Let's take our lifter hats off and then put our professional hats on, right? Professional objective hats on. Because I saw shout out to Bob, I guess. Yeah, shout out maybe shout out to Bob. Yeah, I mean fuck it, shout out to Bob. Shout out to SSJ Bob. He posted something and he talked about something I think after his most recent nationals performance. He said that he wanted to paint the podium, I guess at Worlds, his team. I don't even want to say their team.
Yeah.
But like actually no, let me be let me be subjective. He wants or objective. He wanted to paint the podium craftsmanship, right?
yeah.
As observers of the sport, right? What's your take on that?
I like it.
You like it?
I like it, man.
Yeah.
Like this might seem a little petty, bro, but it's like when the whole thing happened, you know how like some Jordans, they're like craft.
Yeah.
I couldn't buy them, bro. I didn't want to look at it. I'm like, fuck those shoes.
Yeah.
But just because they had that on the line, you know.
Yeah,
but it's like,
yeah.
no, I like it, bro.
Yeah.
I like Bob. I think, and I literally talked about them in my story yesterday. You know, it's like all these guys are great athletes, you know, and they all conduct themselves very well. You know, I think they're all positive forces for the sport. I think what they're doing is to that extent in hand with what we're doing, you know?
Yeah.
Because we all want to grow the sport.
Yeah.
We all want to see this blow up. From my perspective, I want to see everybody else eat. Like I hold no ill will to them, but it's like, bro, like, you know, all right. Like you guys go try to win and we'll continue to win.
Do you think that they can paint the podium?
I think they have the chance to win. Like objectively speaking, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but it's like as long as you have a chance and a shot and like there's probability, then I mean by all means go out there and do it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I think they have all of them very excellent chances to win. So if they don't, then that's on them. You know, and like everything they've said up until that point, it's just gonna that's the dangerous part about talking a lot of mess, because you can talk as much as you want, as whatever, right? Say what you want, but go out and prove it.
Yeah,
you know, that's sort of a big reason why you've never really seen like a lot of clips of me saying stuff here and there, because it's like in the back of my head where I'm always like, man, like, you know, I think I'm gonna do what I think I'm gonna do, but if I don't, just in case, like I don't want to look like an ass. You know? So it's like,
it's like finding a middle ground. I like. Contrary to popular belief, I don't really say shit about like my competitors or what I'm finna do unless like provoked, right?
No.
I don't say I'm finna like do X, Y, and Z. I'm just like, yo, I'm preparing myself to have like a great set or to have a great meet or whatever. Yeah. What's interesting with them is that I'm starting to see more and more. It's like once again, I'm not like, you know, being petty, but I remember when Petrie posted about wanting to beat Jesse Norris's record, right? Or like Bob is saying that we want to paint the podium in craftsmanship, and like he went down the line. He's like, he thinks that Jamar could maybe beat me. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he feels Jamar could like maybe take me. He thinks that Petrie could definitely like give Keiko a run and like win. He said he has Keiko winning. I mean, he has Petrie winning. When I saw that, I was like, just numbers wise, they don't have enough horses at Flex's level to paint the podium like craftsmanship, just because when you look at Flex, like we literally have too many champions.
Yeah.
Like it's too many. So like
Bro, we got 5 right here. Bro.
yeah, like literally like. So it's like, I mean, you would have to have more lifters that are at that level to even paint the podium craftsmanship, right? Because if you look, we have, and I'm gonna like I miss names because we have so many.
Yeah.
We have Keiko, right? We have Delaney. We have you. We have Amanda.
Enna?
We have Enna.
Yeah.
Like we have who's the Sonita's coming up. Sonita low key like
and Carl from Sweden.
Like Carl did his thing, bro. That's like what 7 off the top, like, and there's like other lifters that are like slowly coming up that may like make their rounds too.
Yeah.
So like they have 2 definitively, maybe. Right, like you have Ashton that's going to go against Anatoly. Yeah. That's going to be a matchup.
We still good to watch.
Yeah, it still needs to be done. And then Bob, I think Bob, just by class that he competes in, I'm not sure if there's anyone that really opposes him. Like I think it's like
if he goes 120, then he'll go against like Tony Cliff. I know they were like chirping back at each other.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I actually messaged Bob and I was like, bro,
but I didn't even know what the fuck it was about. I don't know. Sorry, Tony Cliff. I just don't know.
No,
like,
he's an OG from the UK. Yeah, okay. I just know him because I know he's won like single ply and raw. Like he's been competing for a long time.
Okay. Dope.
And he's a very well decorated lifter, but like they were going back and forth at each other, and like I actually messaged Bob. And I was like, bro, like, you know, Team USA, bro, like, I'm with it, bro. Like, let's go. Yeah. You know, because it's like rivalry aside, like, I still see myself as like a representative for the US team.
Yeah, you were talking about that. You're like, how do you manage like the that weird video kind of like messed up like the camaraderie ship or the possible, because you were talking about the possibility of like literally like let's hold talk on the Flex versus craftsmanship talk, but more so about like, bro, we could paint the podium US, bro, from 66 all the way up, and that's super heavy.
Yeah, like that to me in itself is almost more important than like whatever there is, you know? Yeah, because it's like, bro, like growing up, dude, like we watch documentaries of like the Dream Team in '98.
Yeah.
Like all these greats.
Well, yeah, all the lifters are cool. It's just one nigga, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? And I mean, it is what it is. I'm not tripping off it anymore, but because I'm cool. Like, I know people like to like poke me and Petrie together, but I'm like, bro, I have no real problem with Petrie. That was all competitive like sports shit. Like that's what really what was really going down.
Yeah, and I know Petrie, man. Like he's
a nice guy, bro.
Yeah, bro, he's got a good head on his shoulders.
He's a great guy. Yo, I don't know if bro, that nigga gave me tickets to Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator is my favorite artist like ever, and he gave me 2 tickets, and I went to go watch like the concert. Like I don't think he's a bad human being. Yeah, I just didn't like the little back and forth we had, and then like turned into what it turned into. But I didn't think. I always said, even amidst all that shit, I was like, yo, he's a good guy. Like I can't say nothing bad about his character. I think it
just goes to show like the capacity that some individuals have to like navigate disagreements and stuff like that. Because it's like, bro, it's like did you not grow up with any brothers or best friends or nothing?
Did you not grow up playing sports? Like it wasn't like I hate him as a human being. It's like, how the fuck this motherfucker think he really could fuck
I remember in practice, bro. I'll be a has-been for a little bit. So I remember in practice, like beefing with my linebacker friends, like having like this deep feeling of like negativity. Yeah. But then as soon as like we're done with practice, take our helmets off, take our pads off. It's like, hey, bro, you want to go Bush's Chicken after this? It's like, bro, it's not uncommon. Yeah. So it's like I think it's more uncommon when you like let it fester and actually kind of go past that point. Yeah. Like that's the unhealthy part.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. We gonna see, man. It's coming up faster than y'all think, bro. Like this year is basically over, and we're like rolling into 2024, and it's like we gonna find out at the top of the year, like all that trash talking and shit. And I think it's like you said, I do think it's good for the sport because we don't have like we're now transitioning from like, okay, like people are doing this as a hobby and like for fun, and like people are like, you know, just casually winning versus like, no, we're getting more and more competitive. These rivalries are becoming more and more serious, and like there's more and more at stake. Like, I mean, like you said, you competed at Sheffield. I mean, bro, that's, you know, there's like a shit ton of money on the line. You know, it's no longer just like, I'm competing at nationals and like literally I spend like thousands of dollars to go compete at nationals and there's nothing in return.
Yeah.
So I like the high stakes element to it because once again, it's gonna just naturally add that fucking pressure. And I'm excited because getting back to just like pressure talk too, like I have this thing, right? I have this like this timeline that I always go by, right? Whenever people are getting ready for a meet or like a big showdown. Let's say you're about like, 6 months away.
Yeah.
Everyone's chest is fucking big, talking shit. Yeah, man, I'm the one, not two type shit. Then you get to like maybe like 3 months out, starts getting a little more quiet. All right, like I'm ready for prep X, Y, and Z. And then when prep starts happening, it's like, I just want to have fun at nationals and give my best. Like, I'm like, bro, what happened to all that big shit you were talking?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see like the pressurized environment that's going to happen. What did you think about Anatoly's SPD video?
I liked it, bro.
Yeah.
I liked it. Like I'm like, I'd say like a good acquaintance of Ashton's.
Yeah.
And like I think in that matchup, I'll probably root for Ash just because he's my friend.
Course, yeah.
But at the same time, bro, I'm like, you have to abide by the rules we live by. Mm-hmm. And I think if we were to get all the top guys at the table, I think we'd all agree on the same thing. Like, you got to go prove it.
Yeah.
That's literally what we live by. Yep. Like, talk don't matter. Like, go prove it.
Exactly.
And I think Ashton needs to prove that he's better than Anatoly.
Yeah.
He needs to go and do it.
Yeah.
And I think he's more than up for the challenge. I've talked to him a few times, and it's like he's very excited for that. Because I think what stopped him a lot of the times from going to Worlds is his military stuff. And I think next year, like coming up, might be like maybe the first time that he's like everything might be green lighted
for him to go.
Just kind of like perfect circumstances.
Yeah.
So like this is like his opportunity.
Yeah.
To go and make it happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I got a lot of respect for Anatoly too.
Yeah.
Because I can only imagine, like, God knows what the hell he's got to go through on a daily basis, and he's still putting in that work. Yeah. And the way he talked about Ash, bro, damn well he's been keeping receipts.
Yeah, nah, he has. So I think I never like talk about like what you could do. Uh-huh. Like I don't like woulda, coulda, shouldas. Yeah. What did you do? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I think it's almost kind of disrespectful to like. So I'm trying to find a good example. So let's say, I mean, I'm not saying Austin did this. He actually did, and it's not like a jab at Austin, but I think Austin Perkins, like a 74 kg. He was saying he's the best in the world when he hit his total, but I'm like you have the potential to be the best in the world, but you haven't proven it yet because you haven't actually won like a world title. And chances are like he's gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? If he comes over and does all that kind of stuff.
It's a high probability.
Yeah, it's a high probability, but it just hasn't been proven yet. So like, I just don't think it's like very. I mean, it's part of the trash talking for sure, but it's tough. Like, because I think Ashton and Bob are super big on like, no, we're the best lifters in our class in the world. But I'm like, bro, where's the hardware to show it? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think I'm excited, bro. I like that Anatoly. He took that video and he took that opportunity. It's like, nah, man, y'all keep talking crazy on my shit, bro. Like, I've really been doing this for a couple of years. Like, if you really want to come prove it, I'm waiting. Come. Like, I need that extra motivation to push me in training. I was super excited to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Who would you have?
Honestly, bro, I would say it's like 51-49.
51-49? Ash? Yeah. Yeah, I think
realistically, bro, it'll come down to if Ash can get his third bench. Just because Anatoly has shown that he can consistently hit his squats when he needs to, and his bench is pretty solid. He benches over 500. So if Ash, I think their squats would be about 10 kilos apart.
Yeah,
right?
Ash squats a little bit more, right?
Yeah, a little bit more. But like obviously, like he's gonna have to feel good after traveling to go like 380 plus. I think what we can expect. But I mean, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like Worlds is next June, so as long as both guys stay healthy, man, like we could be looking at completely different lifters. Yeah, like Ash maybe goes 385 or 390, which would be, I think, even higher than the untested 105 or 110 record, right? Yeah. So it's like Both, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people have Ash by a landslide because he's close to totaling 1,000 kilos. But it's like,
Nah, it's
I
not.
think it's a lot closer than you think.
Yeah.
Just because Anatoly's deadlift is also improving, and that's been his weak spot.
Yeah.
He's been a subtotal specialist, right? He just pulls enough to cruise. Like, we haven't seen Anatoly put the gas on the pedal or the pedal to the gas, you know. So it's like, I think it'll be really interesting. And plus, he's a veteran, bro. This guy knows the ins and outs.
He don't miss either. Like, he's a very clean lifter. Like,
yeah, man. His standards are very solid, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, by no means is Ashton's either, you know. His standard is pretty damn good, but it's like we're saying, it's like there's a lot of question marks. And for me, man, it kind of makes me feel a little conflicted because I have like that subjective part where, like, man, like, he's my boy. I'm gonna root for him like 10 toes down. But then objectively speaking, you gotta look at it and be like, you still haven't done it.
Yeah.
And like, that's my thing, bro. It's like I feel like I would be doing him a disservice if I just told him he was gonna win 9 times out of 9.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you might win 9 times out of 10. But are you going to win 10 times out of 10? You know, like, you might have a 99% chance of winning, but what if that 1% happens? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like that's the whole thing of probability, bro. Because like, let's take Ray, for example, in 2019 when he bombed out. Like, this man, everybody was 100% chance of him winning, bro. And if he would have got his opening squat, it would have happened.
Yeah.
But what happened? He bombed out. Something happened.
Yeah.
He wasn't what he needed to do. That could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
It could happen to me. It could happen to you. It could happen to Pert. It could happen to Ash or Anatoly. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe he bums out and Ash and just cruises the win.
Yeah.
That's what makes competing so exciting. It's a sport. You know. You never know what's going to happen. There's never 100% chance that you're going to win.
Yeah.
It might be up to 99.
Yeah.
You know, like, people had me, I think it was like 93% chance of winning at Worlds. And I was like, 93? Like, what the hell? Like, why isn't it 99?
Yeah.
So that's like the whole thing, bro. But it's like, I don't think people understand that mentality as athletes because we're in the shit. Everybody else isn't. They're just fans, you know. They're
commentating on it.
So it's like, oh yeah, like, they're gonna win. But it's like, those of people who know, like, they know.
Yeah.
Like, there's a distinct difference.
There's also the factor of travel. And I'm not saying Ashton can't handle it, because I know that was like a big irritant of his. He's like, bro, why are people saying like travel is going to affect my lifting X, Y, and Z? But I mean, shit, can you talk about how travel's potentially affected some of your performances? Especially like just like lifting on the IPF stage. Like,
I don't know. Well, I don't know who. Well, obviously, one of the benefits of being with Flex is the experience. And I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody on the team was like, get there this many days before. And I don't know. I feel like I haven't really had an issue with traveling, just because. Well, actually, no. Maybe my first World Championship in Sweden. I think I really wasn't sleeping all that good.
Was it with? I think we were there together, right? Yeah, and I think you were talking about how like you're just like your weight was plummeting because you just literally could not eat as much as you.
Bro, I was sleeping
wanted.
like 4 hours.
Yeah, and like
bro.
you like
I wouldn't go to bed until like maybe like I would go to bed like at 2 a.m. Swedish time. Wake up for breakfast
probably
and then
fried,
just
like,
not be able to go back to sleep.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, that was like my first Worlds, and then after that, like, I kind of had a better like set of expectations, so I was able to take that learning experience and, like, you know, improve on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, if I wouldn't have been with Flex and no one would have told me like, hey, show up this many days before, whatever, like, bro, my dumbass, I would have showed in like 2 days before.
Yeah,
just
I think
to save money.
We had like a Worlds chat.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, for me, I don't think I mean, maybe it was me because I typically show up like 4 days before I compete, 3 to 4, to let my body regulate. Yeah. Because the first 2, I'm sleeping all day.
Yeah.
Like, first 2 days, I'm sleeping all day, literally only waking up to eat and pee and like use the restroom, shower, all that kind of shit. I don't even leave my hotel room because it's like, bro, you have to let your body kind of settle in, because when other people are up, we're usually asleep.
Yeah.
So if you're walking around and like you're like sightseeing and shit,
Bruh.
you are gonna feel so fried on me. Damn,
Don't even talk about getting caught out in the open, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of put a. I think that's what John was doing. Like every time he stepped out, he just had a little hoodie on.
Yeah. So like I think like when we were all there in Sweden, I stayed in my hotel like maybe the first day or two, like just straight up in bed, sleeping and eating. And then like I maybe went downstairs to get some food or something like that. But it's like people don't understand, like when you lift in the IPF, when you're at IPF Worlds, like we're all in the same place. And a lot of these lifters, like they're like huge supporters and like they want to meet you and shit. I remember I came down to the hotel and like literally got mobbed. And I was like, fuck, man. Like I cannot come down here again because you don't want to be on your feet, bro. Like you don't want to be out there like doing all that type of shit. You want to be in bed resting. And it adds up. Like whenever, I can't remember, maybe it was Korea. I remember I showed up for that fucking meet. I was fried already. I was like, God damn, like I feel like I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, you don't got that pop in your legs.
You don't have like your pop, like you're not like energized or whatever. And I was like, I need to get my shit going because if I don't get my shit straight, then it's gonna affect the way I'm gonna perform on the platform. It's gonna show that travel did make a difference on this particular performance. Yeah. So it's interesting when I see people are like, I travel all the time for my meets. Like it's not gonna make that big of a difference. All right, sit on that plane for fucking, or have that, whenever you set your flight and you have that travel time of like 18 plus hours. Yeah. All right, let's see how much it doesn't affect your lifts, especially if you're going to fly in like a day or two before you actually compete. Yeah. Yeah. So like whenever I already asked you about if you felt like travel has affected your meet greatly. Do you think any of these new lifters transition? Do you think travel is going to affect them? Because I don't think we've seen any of them on the IPF stage before.
I have two answers for this. One, I think it shouldn't, because I think enough people have spoken on this matter that the wise thing to do would, they take heed, they listen, they're like, okay, like let's look at the people who's been successful, and let's do somewhat what they're doing, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think that would be the correct response. Now, where I think it kind of messes people up a little bit is when you're out of your element, the human psyche becomes more of like your enemy. Like you're your own worst enemy, because if you just don't feel comfortable in your skin, you don't feel comfortable, because bro, the ACs in Europe ain't how it is in America, bro. Like if you need it like below a certain degree to sleep, good luck, bro, because these countries are naturally colder longer in the times of the year. So they're not really like, you can't get a room in Sweden or the UK to like 60. You can't. So I think they'll do good. But it's like, you just need to have like that right expectation, and then you got to be willing to roll with the punches, because I think that's where it gets most people. It's like they just feel a little off the first day and they don't know how to fix it. Instead of like sleeping in that first day, they're excited. They're just too eager to go out and look because they've never been to a different country. Yeah. You know, and I'm speaking from experience, because you know I've wanted, like, and it's like, when I travel, I'm in competition mode, so I don't really go out there looking to sightsee. But sometimes I wish it was different. You know, I wish I could go and explore these countries. So it's like, it's a mind game, because it's like you're already starting off 1 foot behind the line, and then if you don't handle it that first day, you get 3 hours of sleep because you're too excited. You go say what's up to the people you've known from across different country. Yeah. And then you walk too much. Yeah. Oh my God. And then like now you're at this time you're supposed to be dissipating fatigue, not maintaining it. Yeah. Exactly. So it's like you miss a meal, or you forget to drink water or something, and then boom, now you're 2 steps behind. It's also kind of hard to get meals overseas. It's not as like, America is like, we love eating in America, bro. You could like literally like hit Uber up and like you got a meal right there. It's not like as straightforward overseas, and the options are a lot, bro. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like a scavenger hunt. Like, yeah, no, you gotta know people who know where to go. Yeah. Like I remember, like that's literally like the first thing my girl and like Nina does. It's like they find out where you go for water, how far it is, because if it's too far, like they're gonna be like, hey, like you guys stay behind. Like, where's the grocery store? Like, does this store have that? Does this store have that? So it's like, huge shout out to our women, It's like, bro, like my girl is such a security blanket for me,
we're gonna get into that too, man.
So anyways, right, so it's just these little variables, we've touched on like 5 little different things that seem insignificant, they seem irrelevant, but nah, it's like, bro, what are you gonna do if you don't even know where to get water from? You just gonna go walking? You ain't supposed to be. So it's like, exactly. But you gotta go get the water.
Yeah.
And it's like, you wouldn't think about that because in the U.S., it's like, oh, you know where water is. You could do it without even thinking. Like, oh, you could be on autopilot on your way home from the gym, stop at Target, get your water, and not even think twice about it.
Yeah.
But it's just completely different because it's going to be a different language.
That should be crazy. Sweden didn't even have like English.
Yeah.
They didn't have like English as like a secondary. It's just straight up Swedish.
Bro, that grocery store was like half a mile away.
Yeah, thankfully the grocery store was like within. I think I took one of them electric scooters or outside the hotel. Yeah. I was speeding through that bitch. I pulled up.
Every time we go, bro, my girl's like, "You want to try one?" And I'm like, "Do you not see this? Like gravity, I be messing around with gravity in training.
Yeah.
It's gonna get me back 10 times if I fall down.
Because I had to download this app to use the thing.
Yeah.
So I was like able to scooter that bitch and get some food, come back. I was super thankful.
Not to mention, like, I think in Sweden you needed your driver's license to buy stuff if you're a foreigner.
Yeah, because I think to show that it was weird, like to show that like you're the owner of the card or something like that.
Yeah, it was weird, bro.
Yeah,
and like we didn't know because it's like these cashier ladies, they're not speaking English.
Yeah.
They're like, and it's like this.
Yeah, thankfully I had a decent amount of experience of traveling overseas because like my earlier life. So like to me, it's just. As long as I have my phone, I'm good because I know how to maneuver everything. Like, I know like where to go. I know where to stay. I also know like, bro, please take like 2 days to just sleep and let your body like regulate itself to the environment and like the time. Yeah, it's tough. But I wanted to talk about because this has been a conversation that's been like prevalent in the powerlifting community ever since Austin had his most recent meet. Mm-hmm. Do you have yourself as like the greatest powerlifting performance of all time?
So the greatest powerlifting performance and the greatest powerlifter. I think those are two separate
things for sure.
I think the only thing, because I think Austin's meet was of the same caliber, but I think what gives me the edge is the fact that it was overseas. It was with IPF judging, and it was just like, well, this would be a simple way of breaking it down: local, regional, national, international. So when you look at it like that, it's like, it's kind of easy to look at it and be like, okay, like international is the absolute peak. It is the most difficult. It is the harshest pedigree that anyone can compete under.
Yeah.
And I went out there and I literally ratioed my best gym numbers 1-to-1. Close, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I mean, like, that's just me speaking from an objective standpoint. Because subjectively, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Subjectively speaking, like how it makes me feel in my heart, man. When I watched Austin do what he did, I was happy for him. I was like, you know what? This man has had like Taylor's name over him since he started. Yeah. And he finally went over the hump. And I was happy. I was literally happy for everybody at Nationals, because normally when I see people do what they do, I feel a little spiteful. I feel a little negative. And I'm like, nah, bro, I gotta go triple your PR.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe that just goes to show like where I am mentally and how I look at myself and what I'm doing, because it's like, bro, everyone tried to kind of get close to what I did, and I'm already like, I'm like 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to catch up, and I'm already like thinking about what I'm doing in February. God willing, like if I stay healthy, like I feel like even 2,600 could be low, but that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm trying to think about 2025 too. Yeah. Because I think that one would probably be the most difficult.
You think about the same shit I'm thinking about.
Yeah, bro. Bro, because I think at that point, let's say everybody coming over does good and they win. They're going to qualify for Sheffield for 2025. And I think we're not really going to get to see that rivalry. Like, bro, it's going to be crazy in 2025, bro. But it's like, that's what I'm thinking. So it's like, I'm trying to go out there and like smoke what I did next year, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, no, like I gotta go even further. So it's like, yeah, man. So it's like that's the only reason I would say my performance is a little bit of a higher standard. I'm not gonna say it's like more impressive. I'm just gonna say the standard was different.
Yeah.
And I think Austin would agree with that, you know. And I think
Watch him be like, "Fucking, I don't agree with that."
nah, bro. Me and Austin have talked, bro, and it's like I think he's supposed to come to San Antonio, and we're gonna go like chop it up and stuff.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. I don't mean this like I'm not saying this because I think I'm better or the best. Like I think it's of the same standard. Like that's okay. Let's differentiate between vocabulary, right? So there's no confusion. I think the level is the same, right? In terms of like doing stuff, but like the standard that it was executed at, like that's the difference.
So, I mean, my take is I'm really not a homer. My take is yours is just like historical. Like it's almost like, well, who's ever lifted the most in a powerlifting meet ever? And it's like your name pops up. But yeah, leaning into more of like the context of it, I think just because of the stage it was done on and like the level of difficulty, not so much like the lifting itself, but just like where it was done, how it's done. Like it was done in front of IPF judges that I don't think they're looking at pass lifts, they're looking to take lifts.
Bro, they red lighted.
You squat deep as fuck and they red lighted you.
Yeah, bro.
You squat like you have undeniable depth.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah,
they're just looking at it, bro.
Yeah, like
you give them a snippet.
They're trying to take it away. It's a difference between like they're waiting to give you highlights versus like, no, we're trying to give you reds.
Bro,
like,
half of the comments on my meet recap is, why did they red light him? Why did they red light him?
Yeah.
Where's the red light?
Yeah.
Where's the flaws? So
and it's like you can't even answer. It's just that's just IPF judging.
Yeah.
Like if you guys are bombing out on local meets, imagine what's gonna happen at IPF Worlds. I know I get a lot of shit for like people think I squat high and shit. I'm like, bro, I ain't never get no red lights at an IPF meet for squatting high. Minus like 2019 where motherfucker almost bombed out. But we don't talk about that very often. But yeah, I think just historical context, like what you did is just like completely unprecedented. And then where you did it was like unprecedented. Like to fly overseas and compete at like the first ever Sheffield competition where how many people were in attendance?
2,000.
Yeah, bro. 2,000 in front of 2,000 people. Like you could either shriek in that moment or you could rise to the occasion. Like I literally know lifters where it's like almost like stage fright. Like walking on that stage by yourself and it's like
that shit was pretty intimidating, bro. Like
you walk out and it's like
it's because you're on a stage. So you know how like when you squat you normally look down?
Yeah.
Like, bro, and like so the stage is like right here, bro.
Yeah.
Like the platform is maybe 5 feet away. If you trip and fall and catch momentum, you could potentially be falling into some random person.
Yeah.
Like that's how close you are to the crowd.
Yeah.
And I just remember, bro, sitting up from my squat and I'm just like staring into the crowd. But fortunately, like this one guy, I think he's from, I forgot what country he's from, but his name's Steve Ringu. I think he's from Belgium.
Okay.
I've recognized him from my first Worlds and he came out to watch. Because he's bald. Okay. So I just focused on him, bro.
Gleaming.
Yeah, bro. It was perfect, bro. I just remember like focusing on him and he was like my focal point. So I figured out there was like a little mental gymnastics, but I figured it out and I was like, I'm good. But nah, bro, that shit
got to be disorienting too. Like you're walking out, like you're squatting and like you don't even know where the fuck to look. You're just holy shit, there's a lot of people.
It does kind of like mess with your head, bro, just because it's like so unusual.
And there's levels to people don't even talk about this shit too. There's levels to different crowds that are present when someone competes. When you were going for your weight, I'm sure you see this. And it's like phone lights are on and shit, and that shit is disorienting. So like even to squat that weight is probably difficult because you know how they coach in football where your eyes are, your body's gonna be at. So like you're looking, you're like, holy shit, like all you see is lights. Like right now we're filming and like we have lights on us. Like it's kind of like it fucks up your vision. So when you look up, you're just seeing literally thousands of phones with the camera phone light on. So like I I was like nervous watching you. I was like, God damn, this motherfucker is about to knock down 1,000+ pounds with like thousands of camera phones on him.
I'm excited for next year, bro, because
it's gonna be more, right? Or,
I just think it's gonna be more hype going into it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just people got a taste of it. And I just think it's gonna continue to develop. But it's like for 2025, bro, like the SBD team, you know, I hope I'm not disclosing information I'm not supposed to be.
But P gonna hit me like take this part down, bro.
But you know, we're potentially looking at getting a venue in London.
If they
that's gonna be like 5K plus, bro. At an arena in London, bro. Those guys in Europe, bro, overseas, they love powerlifting.
Holy shit,
bro.
Yo, America need to step our game up, bro, when it comes to like just casually watching powerlifting.
Yeah.
They don't be like as crazy as like the Europeans. Holy shit, they love this sport.
So I don't know what it's called, but I was walking down like the Times Square equivalent of New York in London.
Fuck, I wish I had.
It's like this big old strip, bro.
I know the strip name. I'm just
expensive as like
yeah.
Anyways, bro, and I was walking by one. I kid you not, bro. Somebody ran out to get me from the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And they recognized me and they're like, oh my gosh, like we saw you compete. Like, can you please take a picture from us? Like, bro, some person from like this high-end company, bro, like like whatever. And he was like, hey man, like, let me take a photo, like whatever. And it's like, you're never gonna see that in the US, bro.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Very unlikely, but it's
not like that.
How do we get it there?
How do we get to that point?
What, in your opinion, how did we get there?
How could we get there? My thing is always media.
Yeah.
Like media, like that's why like people that do media are so important. And I think SBD is doing a really good job of like understanding like what it looks like to hype shit up. Like they're doing what I always thought was possible in powerlifting. Like hyping up these different matchups. Now like Anatolian Ashton's a thing now. Just because of that video. Just with that video, you've created like a hype track. So now like you're creating more and more like
because honestly, Anatoli's never spoken back. Except this is the first time because this has been a conversation for years, bro. Yeah. And Anatoli's never said anything back. He just keeps his head down. He works. You know, he takes care of business.
It's funny. He made the most respectful call out video I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you're very strong. I respect you, but you must come and do it here. I was like, oh shit. Like, you know, like I don't know. I think the way to do it is through media and like rivalries. I think what Flex and what craftsmanship is good. Like you create camps, like as long as it doesn't get it. I mean, like sometimes like I'm looking at shit, I'm like, this is a little bit like annoying. It's like toxic in a sense, but we're in it, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think media and rivalries is the way that we go about that. But yeah, I think kind of like getting back to like the performance aspect of things. I think that yours is a little bit higher. And like respect to Austin because like his performance like motivated me because now I have people saying like, oh, Austin's gonna out total you at cheer. I'm like, okay, like,
bro,
I'm gonna have to eat that for a little bit.
Did you see my thread where I was like, Austin? I was like, since Russ pulled out, Austin's gonna out total the 83s.
I did see that. I didn't, but I kind of had the same thing too. I think we all kind of knew. I hit Joey and I was like, bro, you know I don't talk about lifters a lot. Have you seen Austin's training lately?
Bro, didn't he do like 660 for 2 or 3?
He did it for 3 or something.
Or 3.
And it was like RPE like 6. I was like, I don't know what this motherfucker's doing right now, but it's working. And I'm like, he should be embarrassed if he doesn't total anything more than 830.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's how easy it was.
And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, that might out total like the 83s, but I'm thinking like the 83s, I'm thinking like Jamar might hit like an 850 or whatever. But that didn't, for whatever reason, that didn't really happen. But yeah, I looked at Austin's performance. I was like, yeah, that shit motivated me.
Bro, Austin by far had the best performance of USAPL Nationals.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I don't think it's. Rondell had a good meet too.
Yeah,
It went like.
It was weird that he was a guest lifter, bro.
Huh?
It was weird that he was a guest lifter.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's because he's not a U.S. citizen. But I thought they got rid of that. I mean, I don't know the semantics and the whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just something weird to where like he wasn't actually like counted in the USAPL database or something like that, where it's not official.
I think it was counted for like open powerlifting.
Yeah, open powerlifting, but not like USAPL to where like.
But I mean, I guess to talk on Rondell, it's like, but I feel like that's not even the best of Rondell we've seen. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna have something cooking up that's just.
Oh, you think he's gonna do better like in the future?
Like it was a good meet.
Yeah.
But I just feel like because I've spoken to Rondell and it's like I feel like. So it's like that's what I'm saying because like I know like I don't know if he's been like trolling other people, but I've seen him like reply to people, so I know if he watches this, he's gonna listen. But it's like I don't know. I just feel like Rondell has another level he hasn't really tapped into. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I want to see because it's like I know like you know it is a historical performance. You know, 23:05 at 120 kilo body weight. You know, he said he specifically stayed at 120 because he wanted to be comparable to like the IPF lifters. But I don't know, man. I just feel like it really wasn't like that serious for him. I just feel like he's missing something to turn it on.
Oh, to turn it on to the next level.
To just.
I feel like he picks. I feel like he picks at other lifters a little bit to get himself going.
Huh.
Like I feel like he trash talks a little bit and trolls a little bit, almost to like add an extra layer to the training that he has. Because I mean, he's like obviously he's a special lifter.
Yeah.
He can't do IPF, right? I don't know how that works out.
I messaged him about it and I was asking him like what the situation was because from what I understood is if you had a current ban and you competed at USAPL, they would double it.
Oh shit.
Like because my brother Pablo, so Pablo's planning on doing IPA nationals in Nevada I think.
Yeah.
And because he did junior nationals in Orlando for PA, and then he switched over and did USAPL.
Oh shit!
He had a 12-month ban.
Yeah.
But if he would have done USAPL nationals, they would have given him 24 months because he was still under current suspension.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
So that's why I messaged him and I was like, "Hey, bro, like I know your eyes are really set on international." Like, you know, like, are you aware of this? And he was like, oh, well, like, they told me something else and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like he got did so dirty, bro, by the IPF.
Yeah. I mean, what do you know what happened?
They gave him the hammer for doing that meet in game day. But the rules is, from my understanding, is if you do a international meet, IPF level, and then go to another fed, then you get suspended. But he hadn't competed for years prior to that moment.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was just like, where's the mix-up? Like, what's going on? So I feel like that was a very unfair, because he went into that meet with like false knowledge, or at least the right knowledge, and somebody else went ahead and still gave him the ban, you know. So yeah, I didn't like that, bro. At that time, that kind of pissed me off too, because I'm like, bro, like, if you want the IPF to grow, and like I wanted Rondell to be at Sheffield.
Yeah.
So it's like he's definitely deserves to be there.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like unless there's something that I don't know about, like maybe like a little clause, because like once you start reading like contracts and stuff, you learn to read the fine print.
Fine print.
So it's like maybe it was like some fine print clause that kind of bit him in the ass. I'm not sure.
That should be so annoying, man. Like, cause like for me, I talked to like maybe 3 people when I made my decision. 3 or 4 people, actually maybe more than that, when I made my decision not to compete at nationals, because I was signed up, but they're like, hey man, the way that it's shaping up is that PA is potentially going to have their nationals in March or like whatever. So you don't want to run the risk of having your suspension ease up, or your suspension lifted. Lifted too late, and then you just miss a whole another year of being able to switch over. Because for a lot of people asking, like, other lifters could switch over immediately because they were never part of the actual IPF federation. Yeah. I was a world champion, so like I was in the IPF because you have to actually enter the IPF in order to compete in IPF Worlds. You have to do like that whole. You remember like the whole thing with WADA? So I had to do that, and like I became an actual IPF lifter. And now that I left the IPF and I competed in another federation that wasn't WADA approved, when I came back, I have to serve like a period of ineligibility, which I'm serving right now. But I had to talk to so many different people just to make sure. I'm like, okay, are you sure if I do not compete and I retire from the USAPL and then like reinstate myself with IPF, are you sure I'll be able to compete? you have to like double down and check immediately, like with a lot of different people, because you could be checking with someone and they get their facts wrong.
It does get sticky, bro.
And it gets weird. It's like, fuck, I competed and now I'm like suspended for even longer. And it's like, yeah, bro, I could have told you that. It's like, goddamn.
Yeah. It is overly complicated.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, you know, I think they did make some ramifications to Article 17, but it's like it's still not to the point where we can like coach at both federations. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes for like the other guys moving forward. Like, are they gonna like follow like their best athletes, or they're gonna prioritize like the body of people they have to tend to? So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to talk hard turn, but I wanted to talk about your support system. You mentioned your girlfriend. Yeah. She's with you like all the time.
Yeah, bro. This is like the first time in a long since we've been together that I think actually no, I've gone to Houston a few times with just my the boys, but
it'd be like a day trip though. Like it's like
like
you
a
pull
day
up for
trip,
the day and then you're back at night.
Yeah, because yeah, man, she goes everywhere with me, bro.
Yeah.
If I gotta go out of the country, she'll set it up her schedule for work. If I gotta go do something for more than 2 days, she'll. If it's anything more than 2 days, like she's definitely going.
Yeah. So like, can you explain everything that she does for you in regards to like making you a better powerlifter and a better man in general? I'm setting the stage up for you to get good brownie points, bro.
Be like, all right. So, man, the things that woman does for me, bro, it's like, aside from making me a better man and like holding me to higher standards, you know, because it's like yeah, like we've been talking about training and stuff like that, but it's like in terms of like outside of the gym and the quality of man that I want to be and that she expects from me, like it's been, and I was talking to Dion about this because it's like we were just talking about like how both of our girls, we feel they were God sent. Like I literally remember, bro, the freaking day that I was driving down to San Antonio to move here, I was on the phone with my cousin, and because we were driving like separately in separate vehicles, and I was just like, bro, I feel like I'm gonna find my wife. I feel like I just like there's something about like what's coming. Like I'm gonna find my girl. I'm gonna find the one. And like lo and behold, like I think I had commented on her stuff once before, because so before I moved, I had only been to TSS twice, and you know how it is, bro. Like when you're single and you're gonna go to a new gym, you kind of like go through this like who goes here. You know,
bro, be giving out all the keys, bro. You just said like, you check that geotag.
Yeah. So it's like, I saw her post, bro, and I was like, oh, like she kind of cute. She went to TSS, so I commented. I was like, hey, like that's the best gym in the world. You know, something corny. And I think she commented back, and she was like, yeah, it is, whatever, right? And then, which is kind of funny, bro, because before we were dating. But we were in the talking stages. Yeah, she was like, so like what? Like she was just asking me like trivial questions and stuff like that, and I was like kind of like flirting. I was like, you know, like because I think I hit a PR when I started messaging her. So I was like, hey, like you know, you're like good luck. I was like, and I was like, you know, next time I go for like 8 reds or something, like I'm gonna need you to be there.
Yeah. Oh shit.
And like I mean, I think
this motherfucker was spin.
And she was like, I got a video, bro, and everything. I think I posted it like a while ago.
That's lit, bro. That's what I'd never used that bar before. Yo, you good luck. Next time I go for my next PR, I need you with me. Woo, shit.
So let me write that down, bro.
Yeah, let me write that down.
But so anyways, what she does for me, bro, it's like she's in charge of like my nutrition. She makes sure my schedule isn't getting out of whack. Yeah. Make sure I go to bed. But it's gonna paint me in a bad light. But if it's painting her in a good light, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
No, you're spitting facts. I feel like because oftentimes I have dudes on here and like I asked about their girl because I want the men or the young men that are watching this to understand the value of a good woman and like understanding like when you do have a good woman, treat her right and appreciate her. Yeah. So like I want people to understand like the value that she adds to your life because I've gotten to age now where it's like, bro, I don't want to be like I don't want to be messing around with no girl that can't add no value to my life. And you expressed to early in the podcast, you're like, I don't want to mess around with a girl that's going to take from what I got going on. So to hear like all the things like she cooks for you, she sets up your schedule, or
That's
makes
just
sure.
the tip of the iceberg, bro. Like,
yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg.
all right,
Right?
let's continue with the list.
Yeah,
all right,
keep going, bro.
All right, so like, you know, she keeps the apartment clean. You know, clean home, clean mind. She's just very intentional with like the time we spend together, like the conversations that we have. Like some of them might be like pretty dumb, but they serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Like she's just my piece, bro. Like, cause I'm a very neurotic person. Like I know, I think you slid up or liked my post where I was like, I feel bad for people who just get in their heads.
Yeah.
Because I used to be like that, bro. And that's kind of what was holding me back in my younger ages was I would just get in my head too much and I'd get stuck there.
Yeah.
And I think to a point I learned how to like twist that to my benefit, right? Like that state of mind. But there are times, man, where like, and I'm sure you can relate on this. It's like as a man, the older you get, the more responsibilities you have, the greater your ventures, like the more you kind of spread out into and try to grow and prosper. Like it could be like individuals, like companies, work, training. Like you have less time to yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people understand like your woman should be your peace. And like when you're just like so overwhelmed that you can't even put into words like simple emotions.
Yeah.
But like that simple embrace just kind of makes it all go away.
Yeah.
Like that is what your woman should be.
Facts.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even like saying like, oh, like your woman should do this and that. No, like
No.
Like
Just
your
the
woman
fact
should
that-
be your peace,
Yeah.
your home. Like she's your home. Like your apartment, your home could go down in flames, but as long as she's okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
And like that's exactly what she is for me, man. And I know we were talking a little bit about this before. Whenever
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you about the values that you had whenever you first met her.
on my values,
Yeah, like the values when you first met her, and like how you went about.
Okay.
Because I want people to hear this. This is super interesting.
So, and I was telling Russ this, like, bro, like before we started recording, like, I was so formal and like because to me, man, formality is such a big thing I harp on because. Or this is just an example. It's like when someone tells me their name, I make it a point to call them by what they want to be called, or their God-given name that their mom picked for them. So it's like, and for me, that's a respect thing. Like somebody who follows formalities is a person who knows respect. So it's like when we were first getting to know each other, and it's like, this is just how I like, when I take a girl seriously, bro, it's like the last thing I want to do is make them feel objectified.
Yeah.
I want them to feel appreciated for who they are as a person, right? And like, so it's like whenever we were first talking, like I remember like the first time I gave her a hug, bro, I was like, is it okay if I hug you? And I just like
bro,
remember
that
embracing her,
means
bro.
a lot, bro. Like when I heard you say that, I was like, damn, like that's so I feel like that's such like a manly thing to do because like you're trying to make her feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like simple. Is it okay if I give you a hug? Is it okay if I get you in your personal space? Like,
Yeah.
So I mean, continue. Sorry.
And I like literally, bro, every single thing that we did first, like holding her hand, I was like, hey, like I'd like to hold your hand. Are you comfortable with this?
Yeah.
Or like I remember the first time she came over to my room, like we were laying. So I used to, for a lot of people who don't know, I used to live at TSS. When I first moved here, I ain't got nothing, bro. I was living at the gym. Like shout out to Wes, man. Like that dude. I pray God blesses him 1,000 times of the blessing he's been to me. But it's like, so I'm not gonna lie, bro. When we first started talking, I was kind of scared.
Yeah.
Because she had her education, bro. She had her bachelor's. Like she was working in the medical field. She was training. She was on top of her shit. So I was like, man, like I'm a fucking scrub. Like I'm gonna invite her over and she gonna be like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But fortunately, you know, she saw more than what she saw at the beginning, and it's obviously paid off, right?
Yeah.
So I remember like all I had in my room was like this little mattress. I didn't have no frame, bro. Just a mattress on the ground. I had like a TV, like a desk made out of breaking. The cardboard was break. If I would have put my elbow on it, bro, that desk would have fallen out from the middle.
Yeah.
And I just remember like I was like, hey, like if you want to sit down, you can sit on the couch. And like I just remember standing for like the first 30 minutes we were talking, and she was like why don't you sit down? And I was like, is it okay if I sit next to you in my own room, in my own bed, bro?
Yeah.
You know, instead of being like just laying.
Yeah, it's like, yo, it's my room type shit.
I gave her like the option. You know, she could have said no, and I would have still stood up or been in like my chair and stuff. But it's like I brought her into like my personal space, and I gave her that like authority. And that's just kind of how it was, bro. Like I just wanted to make sure that the foundations of our relationship were built on things that weren't revolving around like physical stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So that's just kind of how we
that's
started.
dope. I feel like you introducing her to your life. I think you said it made you like a better man, right?
Absolutely.
Like when you first met her, you literally wanted to be a better human being and a better man to help support and like just like bring her into your life, right? Yeah. I feel like a lot of people underestimate like the importance of a good woman. Like they don't realize like, yo, like, I mean, she's beautiful. Yeah. Like I find her attractive, but like, how is she going to add value to my life? Like, and it's not that you're expecting, how do I put this? It's like a good balance, right? Because you could add a woman into your life and then you being a better man is going to help her blossom as well. Yeah. Like you probably allowed her to be a lot more vulnerable, but then allowed her to like be like, okay, like this man is someone that's worth giving my all to.
Yeah.
So now as I'm giving my all to this person, I'm now able to flourish. And since she's giving her all to me, I'm gonna give my all to her and she's gonna flourish.
Damn, bro, this might sound a little twisted, but there'll be times where like we'll butt heads, and I'll just sit back and I'll actually be happy, and she'll be like, "What the hell are you smiling for?" And I'm like, I'm actually glad that you feel comfortable enough to rebuttal me.
Yeah,
because in the household that I grew up in, bro, it's like my mom never had the opportunity to speak out against my dad for anything.
Yeah.
Like no disagreement or nothing.
Yeah,
because it was just like he was just that kind of guy, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like I feel like I do a good job of making her feel like safe.
Yeah.
Like when we come home, it's like we can unravel, we can communicate with each other, and stuff like that.
But feeling safe isn't only like just about physical. It's about mental and spiritual and all that kind of stuff. Because if you're coming, I mean, just for the sake of conversation, we could tie it to powerlifting too. It's like, have you been in the gym about to train and you're fighting with your girl? Yeah,
so that's a good point because so how we met is through powerlifting. She doesn't really powerlift anymore. She just trains like I guess like to get back in shape and stay in shape, whatever, right? Like just because she's trying to find like another hobby to kind of invest her time into.
Yeah.
But when she was still powerlifting, bro, like we would butt heads almost every single session, and it would like kind of put a big strain on our relationship.
Yeah,
because I have a lot of opinions on the matter, bro. Like I can't take any couple that trains together seriously. Like,
that's an interesting fucking take.
I just can't, bro, because when I see like a boyfriend trying to coach his girl how to do some curls, I'm like, motherfucker, you gotta do some curls, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you're a man and you can like simultaneously do your own what you gotta do and take care of business and then like still be compassionate and patient and then like take your time to teach, bro, that's a superpower. Because like what I've learned, bro, is like you almost, especially if training is for what it is for us, like we're not training casually, we're not training for lifestyle, you know, we're in here freaking putting our bodies on their waist like a, you slip, you done. And that's just my state of mind. So it's like what was happening is she would be going through her own feelings and I would be prioritizing the way she felt. So I'd be on her like, are you okay? What's going on? Like, you want to talk about it? Instead of focusing on what I needed to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's just like once we started training separately, bro, and it allowed me to kind of take care of business and compartmentalize stuff, like it made our relationship so much better because we understood, like, okay, like I thought she was getting upset at me because anytime her, like, I'm looking at her every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm not even doing what I'm supposed to do.
You're not focused on your shit.
I'm focused on her.
Yeah.
So it's like it got to a point where I felt like she was taken away from what I needed to do, bro.
Yeah. No, seriously. Like it's not like a bet. So like I literally had a conversation with my girl about this. So like I don't come to the gym at the same time she comes to the gym.
Yeah.
And we live together. So like I leave about like an hour and a half prior to her actually getting there. And I remember it was because at first like we started coming to the gym together and showing up. And I'm like you. Whenever I'm ready to train, I shower, get dressed, and go.
Yeah.
Her, I mean, like, you know how girls are. It's just, you know, I'm getting ready. I'm taking my time. I'm
this
listening.
shirt look right on.
Yeah, like, you know, changing outfits and shit. I have everything I got ready to go. Yeah. And I'd find myself getting slightly irritated. Not necessarily with her, but it's irritated that I didn't get to the gym when I was, like, amped up, anxiety levels at peak to go train.
Yeah. So
I realized she's taking away from my training, just being objective. Like, she's taking away from my training emotionally or whatever you want to say. Because when we would get her to the gym together, it's like, it's just something as simple as like we're in the car and it's like, like my head hurts. I have a headache.
Did you drink water?
Just you drink water. She takes my cup, opens it, starts drinking it, and it's like in a casual setting, there's nothing wrong with that.
Bro, like you can't even bump to the music you want.
I can't even really bump. She's like, hey, can you play that new Sexy Red? And like I fuck with Sexy Red, but like at the very moment, I want to listen to a very different song. Yeah. You know, my mindset's completely different. Like she's not in my head. Like I want to kill something right now when I go to the gym. Not like I want to throw ass. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different. And it's not that it's like I dislike you. It's just there's a certain mode that I need to get in. Yeah. So I found myself realizing I'm like, look, in order for us to like make this work, I need to go to the gym way before you do. So now by the time she pulls up, I'm at the latter part of my workout.
Yeah, like you're chilling out.
I'm chilling. I'm like, cooling down. And now
you're
like
a different man, bro.
I'm like, hey, baby girl. Like, nice to see you. Yeah, I miss you. Like, da, da, da. But if we're at the gym at the same time, I'm not even looking in her direction because I'm like, bro, I'm so geeked right now. I can't focus on what you got going on. Like, I'm literally about to hit a PR. Like, I'm fighting demons type shit. Yeah. So it's funny that you say that because I think it does take a different man to train with your girl. And like, I have to question, are you even serious about your training? Because I know what fuck the girl aspect. I know what it's like to train with your homeboy and your homeboy going through it and he's fucking up your workout. Bro, now it's your girl. I really am invested with my girl. If my girl's having a bad workout and I'm paying attention to her shit, just by nature of addition and subtraction and simple mathematics, like me giving a lot more emotional attention to what she's doing her training is going to take away from what I got going on. So I just have to be strategic. And it's like,
how do you handle this?
Yeah, I'm just like, hey,
what's the right choice?
Yeah, I remember I rolled out one day. Like one day I made the decision. I was like, this has to stop. Like, I rolled out of bed. I got showered, and she's like, oh, like where are you going? I was like, oh, I'm going to the gym. She's like, you're not like gonna wait up for me? No, like I just kind of want to get it in now. Like I want to train now. Yeah. And I think she kind of understood. And we had a discussion after. I was like, yeah, I just get so angsty. Like I just have to go now. And it's not that I don't want to train with you, but it's like I don't want to train with you. Does that make sense? So yeah, I think once that was understood, we were able to make like magnificent strides. But that's an interesting ass take. Like if you train with your girl, how good are your training sessions really? Because girls are a lot more emotional with their training, like on average, right? Like luckily my girl's a killer, like you know, regardless she's gonna get it in. But like I've seen like a lot of women, like they go through a lot of emotional up and downs when they train. And like I just can't deal with that shit. And I wonder like when men are training with their girls, like are you locked into your own shit too? So I mean that's a good ass take.
You really mostly see this in commercial gyms though.
Yeah, commercial gyms. But bodybuilding, like you could low key get away with like being a lot more casual. You know what I'm saying? Like powerlifting is performance based more so than aesthetic. I mean it's zero aesthetic. Yeah. Right? So like when it's performance based, every little thing matters. Like how, like, are you intentional when you walk in? Are you focused? Like, I'm not worried about what my girl got going on. Like, she just told me that she has a fucking headache. Like,
Yeah.
that's, you know, now I'm starting to think, well, that's why I told you to eat. Then your whole session's fucked up. But yeah, nah, that's interesting take. And whenever you said that, I was like, yeah, you fucking right.
Bruh, it's just like, and it's like, it's no ill will, you know. It's just
no, it will.
like, let's just be real for a minute, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to set yourself up in the best position possible. And it's just, there comes points in times where as a man, bro, you just got to be more objective.
Yeah.
You like, we don't have the luxury to live life on whims.
Yeah.
Because as man, bro, like very rarely do we get do-overs.
Yeah.
You get one shot. You either make the right choice or you suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
So that's what like, but I mean, like, she understands now, bro, because there was a time where like it would make her sad that I would go train without her. But then I think she's gotten to see me come home stressed out from having to deal like with BS at the gym, and she'll be like, you know what, honey, like, what can I do to kind of like help you like feel a little better? And she was like, you know what, like, I see now why you like wanted to make this decision, and like now I see why you like did what you do. You do what you do, you know. So it's like I think she does a really good job of like understanding like some of my decision making.
Yeah.
And I mean, I try to do my best, you know, to explain it in a way that cause it's like, think about it this way, bro. Like, if she wasn't committed to helping me be the best that I can, like, bro, she wouldn't even put up. She'd be like, oh, you're probably going to go see some other girl. Like, that's why you don't want me at the gym. Like, you're just making it up.
Yeah.
But
that shit has an effect on your training. Like, when you're fighting with your girl and you're training, like, that's a different type of. Were we talking about this like yesterday? I think. Yeah. We were talking about it yesterday. It's like, bro, when you're training and you're getting those fucking like when you hit for the people watching on video, when you're hitting this in between sets, like, and it's like you're looking at like a paragraph that your girl just sent you.
You just want to put your phone down, bro.
Yeah,
You're just
bro.
like, fuck.
Yeah, like, oh my fucking god. You're like, god damn it.
Or you're just like, we're gonna talk when I get home.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh fuck.
Or like,
so now your stress levels are so high.
And it's not the good kind of stress.
Yeah, it's not the good kind of stress. And I don't think people realize too the amount of the effect that stress has on your body.
Yeah.
The last, like, your performance is gonna fucking shoot down.
It's the stress that makes you want to punch the mirror and walk out the gym.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not that good shit where you could channel into a good workout.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, man, bro, I don't feel like doing this shit no more. Like, I'm about to go home to some bullshit. Yeah. But I also wanted to talk about, I mean, shit, bro, we didn't even get to.
But it kind of ties into that. It's like your girl's supposed to be your piece.
Yes.
You know, like I think I mean, I don't know any couples like personally, but it's like, I feel like maybe if like the girl is also like understanding, like if she's competitive too, and it's almost like you guys go to the gym together, but don't train together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like,
it's very, damn, I don't know any couples that train together like that for real. Like, I mean, like, competitive. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, like, we go to the gym together, but it's like, once we walk into them doors, she already knows, separate ways.
Yeah.
I'm going over here, she's going over here. And it's like, she does her own thing because she's like locked into her shit, and I do my own thing.
Yeah.
And like, we just keep it that way. It's like an understanding. And I think like, yeah, I'm just trying to think of like people that like really be trained together like that. But I think everyone kind of understands the same shit. It's like, we work better in isolation in the gym. And then like when we finish up, it's funny because we finish up and like, we're all like, you know, how was your workout? Oh, my workout was so good. Oh, my workout was good too. And then you're good. You know, versus like, can you give me a lift off? Okay, I got you. And then like, I fucking hate like my technique's off today. And then you're like, oh shit, okay.
You're like this. You're like this, that.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not what I want to hear right now, bro. That was one of the biggest arguments that me and my girl would have. It's like, I would try to coach her and motivate her, but she didn't respond well to like,
she's hearing it from you, your boyfriend, where she's not trying to hear that shit, bro.
Yeah, she don't want me to fix her technique and you know, get her in the mood. She wants me to like, you know, be her comfort.
Yeah.
And it's like, I ain't here to be like, you think I'm here trying to be your comfort? Like, nah.
Yeah. It's so funny, man. There's so many lifters in and they're young and they'll understand, but there's so many lifters in like toxic relationships, not just with their girlfriends, but like maybe like just like they don't understand that, bro. Sometimes your training partners aren't the best type of training partners for you. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of lifters. I've seen them like they come in with their girl, they be fighting with their girl. I'm literally watching them fight with their girl as they're lifting. I'm like, damn, bro, that's a session that you missed, and that should be adding up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's people listening to it. They're like, yeah, bro.
Bro, it's gonna be funny, bro. But so my girl should be going to Gold sometimes, and sometimes I'll go with her just to get like my steps in. And I think this was like maybe this is like a week ago. And prior to this, we hadn't gone to the gym together in like a fat minute. And it's like, it's going good, right? It's going good, whatever. And then like we start butting heads, and it's like we look at each other and we're like, yeah, this is why we don't go to the gym together.
That's so funny, man. But I wanted to touch up briefly, like you mentioned, because I actually haven't heard the story myself. You said whenever you moved over to San Antonio, because you're from West Texas, San Antonio is like closer to like South-ish Texas. When you moved over to San Antonio, you didn't have a place to stay. You stayed at TSS.
So my brother will give me a hard time about this, but it's like, so I stayed with my brother for 2 months, right? But his situation is, for family reasons, we'll just say his situation put me in a position where I was on a timeline to leave by a certain point.
Got you.
Yeah. And it just wasn't the best living situation, like mentally and emotionally. Because obviously, like when you like stay at somebody else's house, like you're also putting pressure on the people that are hosting you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I also felt it on myself. Like I didn't really want to be there and like add stress to my brother's life, right? For whatever reason. So at the time I was working at Lowe's. I was in the lumber department, right? Like just doing lumber stuff, like loading lumber for people, like forklift operating. But that Lowe's had overhired, and I was the most recent hire. So I was the first one to go. So I worked there for 2 months, right? And then prior to that, I had transferred from a Lowe's in Odessa to a Lowe's in San Antonio.
Okay.
So at this time, man, like, stuff ain't too good at my bro's house. I just got let go. And I had spoken to Lugo about this. Some of you guys know Lugo.
Yeah.
And he was like, we were like really close when I first moved here. And he had told me like, hey man, like, Wes might have a room for you if it opens up. Right. And I was like, bro, like, let me know, man.
Yeah.
Like, just let me know. And whatever I got to do to stay there, I'll do it. And which I just had to clean the gym every night, which is pretty easy. Like my sleep schedule was a little bit more lax. So I would just clean the gym like at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But I actually lived at TSS from November until maybe like May.
What?
So I was in there for a fat minute, bro.
Damn,
like,
bro.
Like I wasn't.
When was it? What year was this?
This was in 2020 to 2021.
What?
Yeah.
That shit was recent as fuck. I didn't know that.
Like
it's kind of recent, like two-ish, 2.5 years. Yeah. Damn, bro.
So
and TSS ain't got no AC, bro.
So they do have AC, but the part of the gym that I was living at is where they do like the manufacturing. So that part of the gym ain't got no AC.
Yeah, like damn, using the motherfucker during like the cold time.
The cold was a lot better than
the heat.
So that was electricity. So I could plug in a heater.
Okay.
But during the summer, bro.
Yeah, no. What the fuck?
Oh no, bro.
I don't think y'all understand. Y'all not in Texas. If y'all not in Texas, y'all don't get this shit, bro. It is hot as fuck. Hot as fuck, man. Bruh. Hot as fuck. Damn, bro.
It was so bad, bro. Like I would wake up. Like first of all, bro, for people who don't understand, it's like going to sleep in the hot. Like when you're like sweating bullets,
can't really sleep like that.
It's very difficult.
I kind of know about it because I remember growing up in San Antonio, like we would lose electricity. So like the way that we would do it is we would like open up all the windows and just have the breeze coming in.
But that's hot air, bro.
Yeah, but it's hot air. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I remember I'd wake up and just stand by the window just to kind of feel some air circulating something. Like fuck, man. Damn.
Bro, So the fan that I would have in that room is like one of those big circle fans.
Yeah.
But it was just so hot, bro. It would just circulate
Hot ass air.
So the only like hope I had of falling asleep was I would have to like control my breathing so that my body temperature would drop.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, like the air was hot, but it would keep me dry.
Yeah.
So like, bro, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. The summer, because that was the winter that we had snowpocalypse. That was when in Texas,
the freeze,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. But fortunately, TSS is on the same power grid that the airport's by, so I didn't lose power, bro. I had electricity. I had a little bit of running water. So like I was able to plug in like a heater, and be fine. Blanketed. So it's like, but I remember, bro. Like I remember when it snowed, like. It was just like crazy overnight.
What the fuck? Yeah. Did you hear motherfuckers lifting and shit as you was trying to sleep? Because I know TSS like it's 24 hours, right?
Yeah, I never stopped lifting, bro. Like that was like probably the best thing about living there was the only thing I had to worry about was training. So it's like was training. Yeah. So it's like I didn't have no money, bro. Like my phone bill got cut off. Like my brother had to put like almost a band just to get it restarted.
Yeah.
Like my car almost got repoed. My mom had to put down like a good chunk of money to pay off the repo people and then pay the months I was late on.
Yeah.
Like I had to go over to Lugo's house to go like microwave my rice and chicken.
Yeah.
Like any food that I could eat, bro, had to be like Dollar Tree. Like those little Dollar Tree frozen meals.
Yeah.
But I mean for me, bro, like I wholeheartedly accepted those circumstances because I was in it for the long run, bro. I never really cared about like making a living out of this. All I cared was that as long as I'm in a spot where I can go win and I can go do what I gotta do. Like that's why it makes me mad, bro. When people are like, "You're a fake natty," I'm like, bitch, like I had to go to Dollar Tree to buy dinner. Like you think I'm gonna have an extra $1,000 to go buy some
gear and shit?
Some gear, bro? Like, bro, that's expensive, bro.
Yeah,
gear's expensive.
It's like not a rich man's, but it's like it's a luxury thing to get your hand on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. So it's like, but I mean, like looking back, bro, like I don't ever really look at it as struggling because every single day that I woke up, I had like a gym to go to. Like I had water to drink. I had a shower. I had a roof over my head. I had like food to eat.
Yeah.
Like that to me, bro, was a dub. Like I like that was like literally everything I needed. You know,
it's almost like your life gets simplified. It's like you're moving off the bare essentials. Because I was going to ask you, like, do you look at that as a struggle period? But like, not really. Right?
Yeah, bro. I have no regrets, bro. I would do it again 10 times over.
Like you're almost like you're forged through the fire. So if you had to go back to it, it doesn't really move you as much.
Like that's why, like whenever me and my girl moved in, bro, like I was looking at like the cheaper apartments because I was like, well, it might be in a not as good area, but at the same time, like it's cheap. We'll save money. It'll pay off in the long end. But it's like how girls are, bro. Like they need something a little bit more presentable, right? So it's like. But I mean, like, that's my mindset as a guy, bro. It's like, as long as I have what I need, there's literally nothing for me to feel bad or complain about. Like, if everything is set up, like, I got a roof over my head, I got water to drink, I got a shower, a restroom, like, food, and, like, transportation method, I'm good, bro. Like, I don't need anything else besides that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard that story before, but I never actually was able to, like fully, like, listen to it. Yeah. But that's so interesting. I just feel as though, like whenever your back is against the wall as a man, I feel like sometimes that's almost where it becomes a lot more simplified for you. Yeah. Because like oftentimes whenever you push towards progression, it gets actually more complicated. Versus like, man, shit, I ain't got nothing to lose, bro. This shit is real easy and simplified for me now. Now I just have to focus on the bare essentials, like you said, lifting, eating, sleeping, and keeping myself clean. Yeah. And it becomes a lot more easier. Did you find God during that period, or was that prior to you actually moving over to San Antonio? Because you're a man that's big on your faith.
So the first time I ever had an encounter with the Holy Spirit, bro, was when I was 13 years old.
Okay, 13. Yeah.
So you could say I was like raised around the church because when my parents got divorced, like my mom like turned to God, right? Like that's what saved her from like going down a path of like a vengeful or like angry woman and like throwing herself into the world. But truth be told, I was like very angry at God because I couldn't understand why. Excuse me, my parents were like, I couldn't understand why all this bad stuff was happening to my family. Like why my dad did what he did, like why everything had to happen the way it did, man. Like I was very angry, bro. And I like hated going to church. I hated the people there. I thought they were all like weird as shit. I thought they were like fake. I thought that, you know, like bad things happen to everybody, but you know, like I was just very confused and very like, I was 12, bro. I didn't know much, but I just knew like I had believed that God existed, but I didn't really know much besides. I didn't know about Jesus. I didn't know about him coming to earth, living a perfect life, dying for our sins so that we could have an opportunity to get back to God. I didn't know about any of that, but I just knew that there was a higher power that allowed this negative event to happen in my life and in my family's life. So I remember, bro, like that night, I'm not like one of those people who like memorize the date, the time. I just remember like the evening. So my mom started going to like a life group, and I remember at the time, like she would tell me to go because they would have like classes for like middle school kids and high school kids while like the adults were doing their life groups. And she would tell me to go, but I would never go. I would just walk around the church being like, I ain't gonna go partake in this jibber jacky. Like it ain't got nothing to do with me. But then one time, I guess she had seen me walking around, so she told me, she was like, son, like if you're not in here when I get back, like I'm gonna whoop your ass. So I was like, all right, fine, I guess I'll go. So like I literally walk into this room and I sit in the furthest corner in the back that I possibly can. Right. And I'm just looking at people walking in, just being judgmental. I'm like, man, I'm like, screw these people. They're freaking crazy. Like what the hell are they doing here? You know, go home. So then at this time, like everyone's being nice to me. They're like, hey man, like, you know, like there's some snacks over there, like water, juice, whatever. So I'm like, shit, man, blessings of blessing. So, you know, I would eat. But then one time, like the pastor, I think it's Pastor Kano. I haven't spoken to this man in a long time, but he's the man who led me to Christ the first time. But so I just remember like something about him and the way he was talking to me like kind of made me put my guard down a little bit. And he actually managed to get me to sit in the front, bro. So it's like I went from being like this kid who didn't want nothing to sit in the front.
Sit in the corner.
And I just remember, bro, during worship, like not even into the sermon, just worship, I just felt like this overwhelming presence, bro. Like I broke down, bro. I broke down, and like I just felt like God was telling me to just be near him. And that was kind of enough to get me to change my stance a little bit, because like this was the first time I had ever felt like God like communicate with me in any way, shape, or form. So then like during the sermon and stuff, like they went, and so like at this point, you know, like my guard's down. Like God literally came in like a wrecking ball, and he just like with the Holy Spirit like broke down the wall, and I'm like a little mushy potato just sitting there just listening, right? And like I can't remember what the sermon was about, but what they were talking about, man, it just like hit home, and it made me understand a little bit of how things happen and why they happen, right? And like ultimately it comes down to like free will, you know, like the bad circumstances that happen to somebody. It's like people really do have free will, because when you see something good happen, it is the accumulation of that goodwill in that direction. And when something bad happens, it is the accumulation of that bad choices affecting the people around it. And it's not fair, bro, you know, and it causes a lot of grief and a lot of hurt. But it's like the people who are angry at God shouldn't be angry at God. They should be angry. Well, anger is a whole different thing, but it's like they're blaming the wrong person. Like yeah, you know, God is God, and He's almighty and all powerful, and He has reach. And there are instances where He intervenes divinely. You know, I could talk about that, bro. I've had a lot of interventions. You know, I believe that God put me here for a reason, and I know for dang sure He's cherry picked a lot of my situations, because it's like I know other people who are not as fortunate, you know. But anyways, so that's one, like, my first experience was with God, bro. So it's like my relationship with Christ has been like very up and down, man. But as of late, like, it's just like how it's like when you get older and you're a man and you just like, or just an older adult, you start to see the differences in how the world works and how people move. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I just feel like God's been calling me to get closer and closer to Him, because it's like I want God to look at my life and be like, I'm proud of you, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've never heard my dad say, like, I've taken one picture with my dad in the last 20 something years, bro. Like, I don't talk to my dad. I don't think any of my siblings do. And it's like, the only things I've heard from my dad, from my siblings, is that he wants them to convince me to stop, because like he's fearful of me having like some life-altering injury. So it's like he's never said like, son, like, I'm proud. I've never in my life, bro, heard my biological father say like, son, I'm proud of you for what you've done. But the aspirations that I have is I want to hear my heavenly Father say, I'm proud of you, son. And I want to be a man who resembles that light, you know. But I can't say what chapter, but it's like it's in Matthew where it talks about being a lighthouse on a hill. I want to be that, bro. I want people to look at me and be like, I want to shine light on people who are walking in darkness. I want to be a force of good, bro. I want to share the word of God with people. Like, I want to show people that there is a better way, because one of the times that God intervened, bro, it's like I tried to kill myself like maybe in 2018 because like I was saying, like I was going through that thing with my ex, and I reached a point of hopelessness. I saw no point in my life furthering without this person, and I tried to end my shit, bro. And the way that I was going to try to do it is I took enough pain pills that should have knocked me unconscious. These are like these medical grade like hydrocodone pills. I took like 6, bro.
Yeah.
Like my plan was to just like fall unconscious on the road, and you know I was gonna get in a wreck or something. And I just remember being in so much emotional pain. Like that's why I took the pills, because I wanted it to subside. I wanted that pain to go away. And I just remember like driving, bro, crying down my eyes, because I'm like, the realization of what I took the pills, bro, but I wasn't gonna throw them up. But the realization of like, oh man, like what my brother's gonna think? What is my family gonna say? Like damn, I'm being selfish. But I'm still crying, bro, because I'm like, man, like I can't live without this girl. And then like it's like I see a vision, bro, and I'm drowning in like a stormy tempest, and my hand is about to go under, and I see a lifesaver like land within reach's distance, and I hear, this is like the first time I ever heard God's voice, and I heard, Jesus, hold on to me or you'll die. And I just remember, bro, like in that vision, bro, I wasn't ready to die, bro. Yeah, like that is the truth. I wasn't ready to die, and it's like I know that everything that I'm doing is for a purpose, bro. Because I'm some small town kid, bro. I'm Mexican, bro. Like we ain't supposed to be here. Like our culture is like you grow up, you go to work, you start a family, like you keep your head down. Like, you know, it's very honest living, but it can be very ignorant at times. And it's like, bro, like I got a platform, bro. I got people listen to what I have to say. I'm the strongest person on the planet, and I know Jesus, bro. And I know for a fact, like everything is for a purpose. Like not a single thing about my life or what I do is nonchalant. It might seem like it at times, because we're human and our minds are like can only handle so much at times, but it's like I'm a firm believer, like everything I'm doing, everyone that I'm talking to, everyone who hears what I have to say, even if it's just one person, bro, like you know, a lot of people might listen to this and be like, oh, he's crazy.
Yeah.
But if there's one person who this strikes a chord with and it helps them get their life right with the Lord, bro, that's a dub.
Yeah.
1 million people can listen to this podcast, but if one soul is saved, that's a dub.
Yeah.
So it's like that's just kind of like a little bit of like my relationship with Christ.
Yeah. Shit. I was pretty like, I ain't gonna lie. Like I zoned out and I was just like, I feel like we were having a spiritual moment because I didn't even like see you as a human being. I just saw like your aura. Yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, for me, like, I believe in God, but like I haven't started my spiritual journey yet. Like my mom is super like religious, so she's like super big on that.
Yeah.
So
What would you say is holding you back?
I would say maybe like fear. I don't know. Like fear of like being, I guess like almost ashamed that I've been like running for so long, I guess, from like finding my relationship with God.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Like running away from God?
I guess almost in a sense, like almost like fear of like judgment. I guess like fear of like reflecting on like myself and maybe like some of the shortcomings or something like that. I'm not too sure. I think it's just like because I've had like little stints where like maybe I'll watch like a service here and there.
Yeah.
But like I don't like actually physically go or like get myself into it. I mean like Paul, like we've had like short conversations because he's super devout.
Yeah.
And walks in his faith, but like I just haven't like really gotten into like actually going and like making myself available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The thing is about Christ, bro, it's like no matter how far you run away, the minute you decide to turn around and embrace, he's right there.
Yeah.
It's not like the further you run from God.
Can't really run and like,
It's not like you got to work back all those steps you ran away because I can maybe share some light on that, bro, because when I was maybe like 14 or 15, I was prophesized that like I had a call into ministry, like I had a call in to share about the word of God. And that scared the shit out of me, bro. That scared me because I was 14, 15, bro. Like I hadn't even had no girlfriend yet. I hadn't even had beer yet. I hadn't even like gone traveling. I hadn't even done nothing.
Yeah.
But I had this perception of, oh man, like living for Christ is like this negative connotation. But it's like being a devout Christian, bro, and like being there's different levels to this, right? So and we can relate this to like the different denominations. Non-denominational is all about a relationship. And like once you understand like following Jesus is about relationship, it's not a religion. Like you don't have to do X, Y, and Z to be in the presence of God, because the reality is, bro, like we're human, we're sinful. Like good deeds aren't gonna get you into heaven. It's gonna be if you believe and accept that Jesus died for your sins. Because once you accept that, like once you like let Jesus into your heart, bro, like you kind of get hit with this different mentality of like, oh snap, like God's son, Jesus Christ, lived a perfect life for you. And then he died and went through a very excruciating process so you can have an opportunity to find your way back with God. And it's like any like social construct, bro, it's really kind of made up, honestly. Like and people will try to use that against you. They'll try to paint you like this image of, oh no, like to be a good Christian, you gotta like be a perfect person. Like, oh, like you gotta stop listening to hip hop. Like, oh, like you gotta stop dressing a certain way, or like, oh, like you can't say this word, you can't say that word. But it's like, bro, like you're gonna tell me that Jesus is gonna not let me into heaven for doing something. Well, hold it like this. Like you're gonna say Jesus is gonna reject me when like Paul was a murderer. before he started working for Christ. King David, he literally committed adultery, bro. He literally sent one of his best soldiers to the front of the line, so he killed his soldier, his own man, so he could get his wife.
Sheesh.
Solomon, bro, he married freaking pagans. He married women that defiled and spat in the face of God, but God never turned away from him. Like, so you know what I'm saying? It's like when you really read the text and you understand what God wants from us and like how you conduct yourself, like there's a bunch of like chapters and verses where it advises you on how to act, but it's like the way that I've been reading my Bible lately, bro, it's like from a historical standpoint. And I love, because like now on TikTok, like there's a couple of people who break down the Bible with context from that time, and it just makes so much more sense. Like the thing about tattoos, bro, back in the day, those tattoos weren't like you having Kobe on your leg. It was like demonic. It was like deities, like demonic forces that were people were getting tattooed on them. Like, bro, Kobe was a man of God, bro. That man didn't stand for nothing demonic. You know? So it's like with that kind of context, like now it kind of puts you at ease a little more. Because I mean, like it's like, bro, like I'm still learning, bro. Like, I feel like this is probably the most serious I've been about my faith lately, because God's given me much. He's blessed me a million times, bro. Like I'm by no means like or like secular, like wealthy, but I feel wealthy. You know, like I feel blessed. But it's like to he who is given much is expected much. Yeah. So it's like, bro, I know like if I started like if I just like turned satanic, bro, I know God would strike me down. Yeah. He'd be like, I saved you for nothing, bro. Get out of here. So it's like I don't think that fear is necessarily like a real. I just think maybe there's a couple of things that just it's like a lack of information, you know, because it's like I think when we get scared, bro, it's because it's a conflict of two philosophies. But in reality, like those philosophies aren't really in contrast, because when God starts transforming you, it's not through, oh, I have to do this list. No, it's through you being full of the Holy Spirit and in pursuit of Christ, you start to push away from things. Like that's your choice. It's your free will to do what you want to do. So it's like that's what I feel like. There has to be like a different kind of understanding to this, bro, because that's so old timey. You know, it pushed me away. So I can only imagine like how many other believers are out there who at one point in time like followed Christ, but they got tired of like the old timey misunderstanding, lack of context, and it didn't make sense to them. They're like, oh no, like this is some phony stuff. But it's like, nah, bro, God is very real. Jesus Christ is very real. Jesus Christ is a historical figure. This man is Jesus, literally even in the Quran, bro. Yeah. So it's like Jesus Christ walked and breathed and lived on this earth, and like his crucifixion happened. He rose from the dead, bro. Like these are factual things. Like, and there's more evidence. And it's like you can even see it in the world, bro, because at a point in time, people would say Jesus didn't exist. But I feel like the devil has changed the narrative. Oh, Jesus didn't exist to like, so who cares if Jesus existed? Like, well, here's free candy. Like here's other things that lead you away from Christ. Yeah, because it's like, bro, like, so it's like,
yeah, fuck, man. Yeah, that was good. I mean, shit. I go to church Sunday, low key.
Or bro, you could read the Bible
Paul's
tomorrow
like,
morning.
yeah, pull up on me. I saw Paul having Bible study at his crib. Yeah, you having Bible study at your crib?
Yeah, every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
That's what's up.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw Steph there too. That's what's up, man. I think it's like one of the things that like I think your relationship with your girlfriend and then like your faith in God. I think like some of those things that are prevalent whenever I look at your social media page, like just from an outside perspective, right? So I just wanted to ask you about that because I've been seeing it a lot more and more. So like hearing you say like, yeah, like I'm getting a lot
There's
more
a revival
serious,
going on, bro.
Yeah.
You see more people being bold and speaking out on the streets, on podcasts.
It's getting nasty.
Some stuff's going down, bro.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think I need to start defending myself and finding my relationship with God.
Bro, how can you be this sexy, confident man, bro, who don't care about what people like. You speak freely. You're empowered and bold. Like, what do you got? Like, what fear do you get from worrying about if someone's going to look at you and be like, "Oh, this man follows God"? Like,
no. It's not that I'm following God. It's just like it's almost like fear of like the way that I might look at myself and the way I've been living. In a sense, like I don't know. I don't. It's hard to explain. Like it's like almost like questioning yourself in a sense. It's like, damn, like it took me this long.
Like, are you scared that the you who follows God is going to be like completely different than you are now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like,
I'm trying to say, yeah.
So I deal with that because when I'm in the gym, there's like two sides of me. Mm-hmm. It's like my egotistical side, mm-hmm. where I'm like, I'm that dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to go out there and crush the weight that I am. Yeah. And then there's like the humility side of it where I know that I'm only able to do what I do because God put me there and he gave me these gifts. Mm-hmm. And I was at a point in time, actually, it was after a conversation with Dion, which kind of made more sense to me, but it's like, those two things don't necessarily have to be in contrast. Mm. They could work.
All one and the same.
They could work hand in hand.
Because whenever you were talking, I was thinking about it. I was like, I mean, like you could just be like, you could almost be like, not in isolation, but it's just like, no, I'm thankful that, because you know what, like a long time, there's a period of time where like, I was just thankful. Like, I'm thankful to be able to come into the gym and give my all. And it's not so much so that it's like, I'm saying I'm him. It's more so just like I just feel so gratified that I'm able to just come into the gym and do something that I love to do. I just feel like I'm called to do this. Like it's almost like a higher power, you can call it God, gave me the tools to succeed in something that I just find true enjoyment in. And it's like, nah, bro, I get to come into my own gym that like I've been thankful to have, come in here and just like literally come into every single workout and just almost express myself and just like relieve myself and like train as hard as I possibly can. And in the result, like I'm giving what I'm giving. And it's not so much like I think I'm better than anyone. It's just I'm in my own isolated phone booth. And it's like I'm just happy to be able to give my all towards something. Yeah, man. And reap whatever comes with that.
And it's just like you're not necessarily idolizing yourself when you're just looking at the body of work you're putting in.
Yeah.
So it's like you can still be proud of the discipline you're establishing and be like, you know, be like, I just put all this work in. Like, bro, like a good example is like, I don't think trash talking is, well, actually, before I say anything, because it does talk in the Bible where it says like, don't put people in a bad spot. So it's like, but I mean,
it's a balance. It's trying to figure that out. But I think it does. I think you kind of like put it perfectly. Like I am kind of like, that is like an element of it. Like I do question whether or not I will like who I am after I find myself and like establish a relationship with God. You know what I mean? But like that's kind of a weird saying because it's like, bro, like I feel like a lot of Christians have like a good practices. You know, I love my mom and she's super religious. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, it's something that I'm gonna work on for sure.
Yeah,
like,
man. And it's like, unless the world ends tomorrow, you have the luxury of following that curiosity. But the thing is, Jesus is gonna match your energy.
Yeah.
So let that curiosity lead you to the truth.
Yeah. If the truth, it's like, yeah, just like keep going and like that's what it's just meant to be. Like if who I am changes, then
bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like we had a conversation about this.
Yeah.
When I was asking you how you dealt with people switching up on you.
Oh yeah,
and you literally told me like as a person you're meant to change over time.
Yeah.
So it's like, what difference is this changing you gonna be? It might be natural anyways. You might be growing in that direction anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like the only difference would be is what you're living for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it, bro. You can still be.
Yeah, that's my word.
You're still on this trajectory.
Yeah, I used to be a certain type of way, but just like with my journey has led me to change who I am as an individual.
Yeah,
it's like that Jay-Z line. He goes, "Sorry, mama, I promise this wouldn't change me, but I would have went insane had I remained the same me." So it's like, I mean, like there's this period of time where you just have to grow, man, and like
bro,
you don't.
When you're following God, bro, it's like I don't even think those things become relevant anymore because a good example of this is like whenever God was smiting Sodom and Gomorrah, his angel specifically told what was his name? Forget his name, but it was like this one guy, his wife and his family, and they were like the only Lot. And he literally told them like, don't look back. Like, just don't look back. So then they're leaving, right? And then as it's getting destroyed, Lot's wife turns back and she gets turned into a pillar of salt. Jeez. Because in her heart, bro, she was like looking back, like trying to reminisce.
Yeah.
And that just showed that like her heart was still in what God was trying to destroy in Sodom and Gomorrah. But it's like when you're following Christ, bro, it's just like I don't think you should worry about that, bro. Because you're worrying about things of this world when your soul is at stake.
Yeah.
Like you're worrying about things that are gonna matter nothing when you're like 90 years old. And it's like I think it just comes down to like, you know, what are your priorities, you know? Like do you wanna like for me, bro, it's like I told my girl every single night before I go to bed, like I'm like, I wanna see you in heaven. You know, like my mom could pass away next week, you know, God forbid. I want to see her in heaven. You know, so it's like I don't know how much you never know how much time you have left on this earth, you know.
The best time is now.
Yeah, bro.
Always,
so it's like
you never know what tomorrow brings.
So I mean, bro, I think you got a lot of great people to pick brains in this gym. You know, like I've never had a one-on-one talk with Paul, but the fact that this man leads a Bible study, bro. And like, how old are you, Paul?
I'm 26.
26, bro. Like, like this man is living for Jesus, and like,
I think are y'all reading your Bible right now? Yeah, Michael is reading his Bible,
and then like Dion, bro, like the transformation. It's like a breath of fresh air, bro. It's like when the last time I talked to Dion, bro, to the time I talked to him today, it's like he's a different man. This man ain't the same man I talked to before because what I knew Dion from, like just seeing him on social media, he was like this angry guy who just had like a point to prove he had an attitude. And it's like the conversation that we just had today, bro, I'm like, nah, like there is a particular reason why me and him had this conversation, and then now there's a particular reason that you wanted to ask these particular questions. Yeah. So it's like that's not coincidence, bro. You know, I think, and I'm gonna start praying for you, bro. Like the fact that you're like on the fence. Yeah. Like
it's not that I'm on the fence. I just keep delaying. I keep delaying the process. Now I'm gonna get into it. You know, I think I'm at the perfect point too, where it's just like, I mean, shit, man. I got nothing to lose. Not like I had anything to lose before, but it's like it's time to open myself up to the possibilities.
Yeah, man. Like, bro, what if you with God is like 850? Huh? What if like you start lifting in the gym, bro, with the confidence that God's behind your back? 850, bro.
I'll hit up Paul right now. Yo, let's start studying, brother. I'll pull up to Paul's crib right now and start studying. Nah, but that was a good ass conversation. What 240? 240? I think that's a good cap. That's super solid. Yeah, that's solid. I think we'll end on that. But is there anything else that you wanted to get your message out before we close on out?
Yeah, man. Like, tell your loved ones that you love them. You know, like you really don't know. Like anything could happen. You know, God forbid. Like it could be an accident. It could be health issues. But if you have the opportunity to tell those that are close to you that you love them, like. Don't let pride or anything that's fleeting stand in the way of that, because it's like I've gone to see like my uncles and stuff like have regret of not calling their mom, my grandma, sooner or more frequently. And it's just like, those are just one of those things where it's like, what you waiting for, man? Like you only got 24 hours in a day. Like 5 minutes ain't gonna ruin it. So
yeah. I mean, shit. There you go. I mean, you guys can find Jesus on like all social media platforms. I assume like TikTok.
Yeah,
I mean,
hey, bro. I think
you've been killing on TikTok. You got the TikTok shit down, bro. I've been seeing it.
I think I'm shadow banned on IG, bro.
Bro. I haven't talked about this, but I think I'm shadow banned on IG too. Like my shit's fucked, bro. If I post, it's not the normal number,
bro. Because if you try to look me up, like my handle, it says no result. You have to put it in my legal name for it to pop up. Yeah.
I don't know what it, bro. I'm not sure like exactly what it is. Like I haven't posted in a minute, bro. I'm just like, I'm gonna let it. Maybe I have to let it rock a little bit. Yeah. But like, I don't know exactly what it is. I just posted my IG story and I'm like putting more on TikTok.
Did you get like a warning for anything?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I don't know what though. Like I couldn't comment. Like it wouldn't let me interact with people on IG for a minute. I think I posted way too many IG stories in succession, and it's like, nah, bro, you got to chill out.
Because I think for me, bro, it's like, so I'll just have to be a little smarter about this. But sometimes I'll be in my comments and I'll clap back at people when I'm bored.
Yeah.
And this one guy,
no, like I know.
This one guy called me ugly, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like, don't be tagging me in with your ugly self.
Yeah.
And then like
it'll flag your shit.
It flagged it, bro, and I got a warning.
It's like bullying or something like that.
Yeah,
but I don't really be going back at people, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I'm like, bro, like this guy literally called me ugly, and I get in trouble for calling him ugly back.
Yeah.
No way, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But Jesus is on TikTok. You're on Instagram, YouTube. So yeah, y'all hit him up. We'll have like all of his stuff in the description box. But that's episode number 22, man. Jesus Olivares, fucking good ass episode. We'll tap back in with y'all. I'm not sure who we're gonna have next, bro. Like, we'll see. I think we have. Yeah, y'all stay tuned, man. But appreciate you guys on
keep y'all on y'all's toes, man.
Huh?
So keep y'all on y'all's toes.
Yeah, keep y'all motherfuckers on your toes, man. Appreciate y'all guys for listening. It's episode number 22. We out. Peace.